I'd like to start off by thanking our sponsor for financing the parts for this Frankenstein monster, along with my partner who's a bro of few words. We did this research for two nerds and two birds. Piano, do a show, same time watch it. And guaranteed to give him more than just hawk spit. MC extraordinaire, technique sorta rare. Quarter clear, sorta scared. Next week more to share. From the most retardedest artists this year and forever. Villain them, you mean big brothers love ya. Definitely felonies telling me. Treacherously MC yelling B, set him free. Let me see, that strategy's misleading. G's all in the freezer with the batteries and Z-rims. Hear him stalk the concrete with Bunyan. And won't hurt corns when it's on like the stun gun. Not so shocking. Fun in-face rappers eat rocks over beatboxing. Debunk punks with a stock flow and make it funky fresh with no socks. Wahako, mad villain been as high as Catman do and tilted to the side like that fat man's shoe. Look, not to give a mixed signal, the rap game got more toys than Kris Kringle, and he's fake. Your ears is not deceiving. I can't believe my eyeballs no more than Steveland. No wonder, OMFG snuck him like an unexpected blow from a lefty. Caught me, almost shot an eye out. Felt good though, even with the cotton dry mouth. Time out. Okay, time back in. Never seen a living human being with black skin. What's cracking? Besides smoking trees and wheezing, with no reason working like a broken tetrahedron. We get paid and get even. Building, still get mad when it's time to get vanilla. They thought the Don had gone silent. Since deep in his studies, he's accepted non-violence. Don't make him have to skip some classes and open up an old can of whoop ass with the fastness. Cut the roll with melatonin, put a little more in. Strip club full of whores and grown men snoring. Keep the block sold like Dread and Bob and Bonus, and make sure the C's know they never ever owned us. Beat a dead pony and sell the corpse for glue. Get a portion off the proceeds for the shoe. No need to bleed if it's no big to do. Flew a fly flow with the speed of Mr. Magoo. Blew a wad on a platinum card debit. Come back broke as hell, ask the God for credit, dead it. The mask is like a handcrafted ghillie suit. Only if the ladies can see him, they say it's really cute. Thanks in advance. Don't try to be cool now, had your chance. Avalanche, rappers is Badger Vance acting. Who need to fix their pants or get smacked by the Mac 10 or 11 or both. Find Jesus, see the Reverend take the oath. He moves his huge hands in the dark like fate, waiting for the date to drop the tape like bait.
How y'all doing today? Let me go ahead and switch it on over. How y'all doing today? Everything been good with y'all? I think this is gonna be an interesting one. This might be a little bit of a shorter stream, but not by much. I reckon we still got a lot to cover here, but this should be good. It's also one of the first times in a while I've streamed twice in a week. I don't know how often I'm gonna be doing that, but yeah, I'm gonna try and stream a little bit more here and there. Yeah. But, hold on, let me make sure everything's right. Everything seem alright on stream? I track and everything's probably alright. Alright. Actually, let me turn the music down slightly, I guess. Actually, well, yeah, it's probably better. Alright, so today we're going to be ranking some of the most iconic cars from all kinds of racing games, including a couple that are probably more iconic outside of racing games, but have been so influential, or at least like present in a lot of racing games, that I figure they probably needed to be included. And I have them roughly in order of how we're going to do them today. This might look a bit small, but it's not a whole lot smaller than like the tier list that we did before. So, hey Rennick. Alright. You know what, as like a starting thing, I'm going to move this a bit more forward because I'm less familiar with that. What are we doing today? Today we're ranking some of the most iconic racing game cars. And actually, I am going to go ahead and establish a quick bit of criteria for this. It's based on like a few different factors. One, how prevalent is it in the game? Just how does it look? Is it a cool design with the delivery or the performance modifications or whatever? How like important is it, or how important does it seem within that game? And if it's a real car, how cool is it by itself, or like how fast is it IRL? That kind of thing. Because I know a lot of these, the majority of these are real cars just with modifications, but we have a few exceptions here and there for games with fictional cars and that. So, it'd be good to have like a little baseline for it. So, yep. And we'll also have like the tier list, because we have a few cars that I'm probably going to put in the lower categories, even though in their own ways a lot of these are really iconic cars. So we'll just have to see. I guess we can go ahead and start out. For the first one, we have the Custom Coupe, or the Custom Coupe Ultimate from basically all the Burnout games since 2, really. I'm using the Burnout 2 image for this one. What is it? I know this has been in Burnout 2, 3, and Paradise. I don't know if it was in Revenge or the other ones, but I know it was at least in those ones. And it's probably the most, like, synonymous car with Burnout, as far as I can tell. Although, even within those games, it's not, like, the best car. Also known as Kitano Hydros Customs in Burnout Paradise. Yeah, that's what... It's the same car, they just call it, that, because I know... What is it? The Kitano's Hydros, you get that from, like, an event in Burnout Paradise, and it's, like, got a different livery on it. And then you can do, like, the burning lap that's, like, specific to that car, and then it gives you the classic livery for it. Because I feel old just remembering that. I mean, yeah, Burnout Paradise was 16 years ago, so it's been a minute. It has been a minute since Burnout Paradise came out. Like, even the remaster is 6 years old now. And I actually found out that because I was scrolling through YouTube, and I don't watch a whole lot of like straight gameplay videos anymore. But today, of all things, Jacksepticeye's Burnout Paradise remastered playthrough showed up in my recommended, and I watched a bit of that, and I was like, dang, this is from 6 years ago. Wow. Yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a hot minute. I'd say with this car in particular, especially with how it fits in the Burnout series, I don't know necessarily how many iconic cars Burnout has, but of them, this is probably the most iconic. So I'd probably put it... Well, I'd put it somewhere around there, knowing how it fits into that series and, like, how well I think about it. Now this next one, y'all are probably gonna have to help me out, because a couple of these I'm less familiar with, because I got some suggestions from a community post that I put out. So, like, y'all are probably gonna have to help me a bit with this. I'm not sure, like, how iconic the Blue Falcon is within the F-Zero series, because I've never played the F-Zero games. Hey, Ludicrous Fool. So y'all are probably gonna have to help me out a bit. How, like, iconic is that within its series, or like how well used is that in its series? Because I am very much unfamiliar with this. Is new territory for me. Never played it either. Fair. I guess I could, like, leave it and come back to it later. But I think, I don't exactly know where to put it, seeing as I'm unfamiliar with the games. F-Zero is not the biggest racing series, but it has a cult following. Right, that and, like, they haven't had a new F-Zero game since the GameCube. Like, that series hasn't been around in a minute. Although, to be fair, that is sort of true for a number of these series. Like, we, of course, have Burnout, which hasn't had a new game since, let's say for the sake of argument, 2008, because that's really it. And you have Ridge Racer here, which hasn't had a new proper game since, like, 2007, isn't it? Or 2009, maybe? And Flat Out, which is the same deal there. I guess, to be fair, since I'm unfamiliar with the series, I probably... Yeah, 2012, yeah. Since I'm unfamiliar with the series, I'll probably just put it in Cool Cars, just for the sake of, like, being roughly in the middle. Although... Unbounded was the last console Ridge Racer. Yeah, I remember hearing about that, because it's like... The most recent Ridge Racer branded game, I think, was like a mobile game, or like a 3DS game. But then Unbounded was the last console, and then their last, like, proper entry was like 5 years before that. So it's been... Yeah, with Ridge Racer. It's been a bit up and down with them there. Now next, we have a bit of an interesting one. I don't know how many of you are going to be familiar with this, and I don't actually know, like, the best way to show it. I probably should have, like, cropped them differently. But this right here, I don't know if you're going to be familiar with this, but this is actually from the TXR, the Tokyo Extreme Racer series. Now this is the final boss in all of the games throughout that series, but it's also based on the, I think it's the Dark Blue Devil Z from Wangan Midnight. So this, like, I know the series itself isn't, like, super big, but this is one of the bigger cars in that series. It's the THC Funny car, Devil Z. Yeah, it's based on the Devil Z. It's supposed to be, like, a strong, like, I guess, homage to that. Even though it's, like, an entirely different IP. But I figured this would probably be, like, a cool car to include in this, because it is iconic within that series. Like, it's basically one of the only cars which is consistent throughout the whole series. Might be the only one, actually, to my knowledge, although it's not in the TXRD games, if I remember right, like any of the Toge Drift Kaido Racer ones. I'd say cool car too. Yeah, I was thinking somewhere in here. Because it's not also just based on, like, how well known it is, it's also, like, how well, like, does it deserve that kind of, like, iconic status. And then we have this one as well. This, I actually have to find the name for this because I'm unfamiliar with Ridge Racer stuff. The Assoluto Bisante? Or Bisante? The only reason, I saw someone suggesting this car because it's both the cover car for Ridge Racer Type 4, as well as in a few other Ridge Racer covers, and it's just in a lot of the series after Ridge Racer Type 4. I'm, again, not as familiar with the series, but I imagine Assoluto? Okay. In TXR Jinte, final boss actually usually drives R34 GTR? Raynick, the guy who drives what is it? I can't remember if it's a 280 or a 240, but that's the final boss after Jinte. Like, after you beat, if I remember correctly, after Jinte and basically all the TXR games, I don't know which one Jinte is the final boss, and I think it's 1. Yeah, it's 240Z. He's the guy who shows up after. Like, you beat him, and then it's like, oh, you finished the game, but did you really? And then he, like, shows up out of the shadows. Bro's like, you forgot about me. Yeah. So... yeah, Asoloto. Asoloto? Asoloto Bisante? I guess that's how you pronounce this. This seems to be like one of the most iconic cars from the Ridge Racer series, although, again, not being super familiar with them, y'all are gonna have to help me out a bit. I'm not sure like where it'd be most appropriate to play something like this. That won't be an issue for pretty much the rest of them on here. I just put some of the ones I'm less familiar with at the start, for some reason. But what do y'all think? With TXR, oh, really? Great pick? That's generally kind of what I was thinking, because I know this appears in like a lot of the series, so I imagine something like this would probably be appropriate for like something of its caliber, but again, that's only the closest idea I had from like scrolling through a few wiki pages and looking at like the series. I still need to actually play a bunch of the games in the series. Yeah, I might should do that at some point. Do like a subathon playing all the Ridge Racer games. Got confused a little bit because I've only played the third one where Devil Z got replaced with Rival of the same name but only as Wanderer. Oh, okay. Yeah, generally the Devil Z in the games it shows up as question mark. But yeah, the Devil Z it generally shows up as like the final boss for pretty much all the games in the TXR series. I'd be down for that. The RR Marathon, yeah. I might try and do that at some point if I get the ability to. I currently probably won't, but if I ever like, what is it? Get the time to like actually sit down and do something like that, that'd probably be good for content as well. Like I do want to cover Ridge Racer at some point because it seems like a really interesting series, but because I didn't grow up with it, I'm really unfamiliar with it. So. Next we have some more interesting cars. The Pink Vitz. Now the Pink Vitz is something, yeah, the Pink Yaris. It's the Vitz right here because I got the, or Vitz, oh this thing, yeah, this interesting, why not? that's my question. I mean, to be fair, that is kind of why this category is here. But still, like, I had to include some iconic cars from the series, and also like suggestions that people had on the community post that I put out, and this is one of the ones that I put up. There was actually another one that was supposed to be included, but I misplaced a file somewhere, and I ended up not being able to put it in, which was the Tom's Castrol Supra. But this was one of the few Gran Turismo entries. I don't know what car from GT3 is iconic. The Tom's Castrol Supra. And this. Which, if we're being fair, probably needs to go, like, here. Because it is kind of a Y car. Like, the Castrol Supra would have been absolutely iconic. That is the main part there. As would be the Calisonic Skyline. I agree, but I'd say the Calisonic Skyline is more iconic outside of Gran Turismo than the Castrol Tom Supra is. Like, I think more, whenever I think of the Calisonic Skyline, I think of 90s JGTC footage. When I think of the Castrol Tom Supra, I think of Gran Turismo 3. That's just how it is. We turn that music down slightly. There we go. But, like, that's also another thing. When it comes to the IRL cars, is it, like, how iconic they are in real life, or how iconic they are in the game? I also remember a lot of folks found Toyota GT1 race car 99 iconic. It is also true, and I don't know how iconic it was before being in the Gran Turismo games. That I'd have to look into. But, like, yeah. That's how at least I feel about, like, some of the race cars in the series. But then you have stuff that's, like, specific to Gran Turismo, like the Ford GT Gran Turismo car. I'm gonna be a bit honest. Even though, like, it does show up in a lot of the games and a lot of stuff, I almost feel like outside of Gran Turismo, it doesn't get talked about a lot. Like, this is not something that, like, a lot of people bring up from the series outside of the series to me. That might just be me. I don't know, like, what kind of conversation there is normally around this. Like, when it comes to just the GT itself, like, the Ford GT is a custom GT race car? Yeah. Right. Like, by itself, I already really like the Ford GT. I basically always have in whatever racing games it was in. So, it won't be really popular? Yeah. Right. One of Polyphony's coolest fictional race cars? Yeah, it's basically the only one that stuck around, really. Like, I really wish they did more of the thing they did back in Gran Turismo 1 through 4, where they had, like, the fictional LM race cars. Granted, I know that would have been a lot more difficult to do with the higher quality models and textures of the 7th and 8th gen, but it was still really cool to see stuff like that. And they kind of did with Vision GT, but it's not the same effect as those ones did, because those are more like usually concept sports and supercars. These are like race cars. They did that in GT5 and 6? I thought they didn't do that in GT5 and 6. I thought it was all just like Vision GTs and such. Because I don't remember seeing... Unless they were... Well, except for the ones that were brought over from GT3 and 4. That being the case. Yeah, I don't think there were any premium model LM race cars that were the modified cars like those were. Or like this was. Although, of them, this is probably one of my favorites, if not my favorite in general. What, you mean real cars converted into race cars? Yeah, the ones that the actual developers did themselves, like the FTO LM and the RX-8 and the the Altezza and what is it? There's a few others. I think there was an Impreza one as well. A few other ones. I can't think of all the ones exactly, but there's a few that I had in mind. But I don't remember them having any premium model ones in GT5 or 6. All the ones that they did have, I remember just being brought over from GT3 and 4. Also had them like in PSX GT, where you had conversions, some of them at least. The first two had them as customization options, which the Need for Speed Duology would adapt. Yeah, the Works body kits from the Shift games. That was an interesting concept as well. And then in Gran Turismo 3 and 4, they were standalone vehicles, which like themselves had like the modifications already applied. I don't remember seeing that in GT5 and 6. I must have just missed it then, if that was the case while I was playing through them. Because I don't remember seeing anything like that outside of the other ones. i.e. NSX RM 91 in GT5. I'll have to check back in that light. In the video, I'll have to like make a correction if it was the case with GT5 and 6. You said it was some of them, so it might not have been all of them. But I'll have to go back and check. I'd say for something like this, I almost want to put it like higher, like close to here. Because I could see it like being near the top, just because I really like the Ford GT in general, and I like how it was used in GT4, even if it wasn't a lot. And like the whole like special GT performance car, like race car modifications they did in those early games. Racing modifications, Gran Turismo 5. Let me see. All cars from the Racing Pack DLC except cars have their internal names end with RM suffix, just like RM cars do. Recently, they and GT by Criterion was cars referred to separately in GT6. Some of those cars. Okay. But it looks like these are a lot of the ones that were brought over. Well, no, because these ones are newer cars that they did. Only 17 cars eligible for racing modifications. Okay. So they did have some specific ones to Gran Turismo 5 by the looks of it. Although I think a couple of these are, I think, brought over from previous ones, like maybe the EK and the Golf 4. But I know some of these, like this, I know would have had to have come from GT5 because it's a much newer model. To extend an absence from the series, a racing modification returned in GT5. Some of those things were brought back in GT7, like Civic and Sylvia. Okay, that would make some sense then. All the cars being modified in GT5 can be purchased as separate cars that are race modified forms in 6, albeit with different names opposed to the RM suffix. Right. Okay. So they weren't as prevalent, but they still were a thing in GT5 and 6. Right, okay. That makes some sense then. Then I'd say for this car in particular, I probably want to put it somewhere in here. Maybe like they renamed that 2 cars with suffix touring car? Oh, that would make sense, I guess. I guess I'll just stick it here, at least for right now. That's probably where I want to keep it for now. I might move some stuff around at the end, but yeah. Yeah. Next we have the Road King from Flat Out 2. Any of these that were cover cars, I just use like the actual cover. I would love if they would do that with other cars in GT7. Yeah, that would be pretty cool, having like the racing modifications back in GT7. Although I imagine if we were going to see that in anything, it'd probably be in GT8 or whatever comes out of that. Whenever that comes out. But now we have Flat Out 2's Road King and Ultimate Carnage as well, if I remember right. This is a pretty interesting one. From what I've heard, it's like usually one of the better, but not that great cars in Flat Out 2. Hard to pick a rank for this one? Yeah. I'd say by itself I do associate it a lot with the Flat Out games, but I'm also still yet to actually like play through them all the way. So I'd probably put it somewhere like, it's cool, but outside the Flat Out series it's not known to many. I mean, yeah, that's what I can tell as well. Because I don't, like, that's not the first thing I think of when it comes to Flat Out by any means, so I'd probably put it like here for now. As like a general, like, placement. Let's see. Alright, now this is where things get a bit interesting. this isn't just like the Dirt 3 car, like the cars from Dirt 3. This is the Hoonigan, Ford, Fiesta, and Focus in basically any game they show up in. Because they've shown up in a lot of racing games, and I feel like they have enough influence within the racing games, even if they're still really, like, well known outside of racing games. I feel like they're almost like an integral part of a lot of racing games in their, like, stylization and their appeal. Especially, like, the Dirt games and the Forza games, like the Forza Horizon series. So I feel like it'd be fair to put something like that here. For Dirt 3, you should have just brought Impreza from Dirt 2. That is also fair, but it's like a similar thing. It's also like, how iconic is the car outside of Dirt 2, and I'd say the Hoonigan Fiestas and Focuses, of the cars that Ken Block was known for, I'd say was definitely more iconic than like the Impreza that he only had for a few years. I'd say when it comes to, like, generally how it is in most racing games, I'd probably put it in, I'd say probably Great Picks, because it's generally been, like, a great, like, iconic car in a lot of games, and it's not even specific to one game, that's the interesting part. One game or even just a small handful in a series, because it's been in so many different things at this point. Most of the Colin McRae Rally series has either an Impreza or a Ford on the cover. Yeah, that is also true. Because most of the earliest ones had the iconic 555 Impreza from Colin McRae on them. Then a couple of other cars he drove. I think one of them also had a Citroen on it at one point. I think it was 04s or 03s, maybe? Or maybe 05s. One of them. And then it was back to the Subarus up until Dirt 3. X04 had the Zara. Yeah, that was the one I was thinking of. Yeah, that's how you say that, right? Zara? Or Xara? Yeah. But, like, when it comes to, like, general game stuff, because also, they're also, those are still well-known cars for being in the WRC and that kind of thing, and, like, being tied to Colin McRae's whole, like, lineage and that. Well, this is much more iconic within, like, racing games themselves, at least as far as I can tell, because I can't imagine why it was in stuff like the Forza series later on, I think a couple other games as well, without also being well-known within racing games. Besides it just being Hoonigan and Gymkhana and Ken Block and all of that stuff. But there are also other, like, really iconic car culture cars that aren't in a lot of games like that, so you see what I'm meaning? It's just kind of like the thing with these games. Hold on, let me put on something else. Let's see.
I'm a baboon.
Yeah, probably work. Alright, so the next one we have up is the Grid 1 Viper, the Raven West Viper. Well, this might not necessarily be like the most iconic individual car. Yeah, that Viper from Grid is my favorite to drive on. That one is slept on. Yeah, that was my thinking as well, because, like, for one, it's a Viper. You can't really go wrong with a Viper. Like, like the sound, the power, it might not be the best handling car in the world, but, like, it's a Viper. Come on. But it also represents, like, the Raven West team, which is, like, very well tied in with, I think even back into the Toka 3 days of the series, but it's tied to basically all the Grid games before and after. So I feel like something like this could definitely rank pretty high on the tier list. I'd say probably something like this, actually, yeah. Probably up there. Not because, like, it's the most iconic by itself, but because, like, it's just cool in and of itself. Like, it could honestly be like one of the most iconic cars from that series, at least to my knowledge. I do wonder how it was brought up, or even if it was even brought up in like the later grids, like 2019 or Legends. Funnily enough, it's Viper modified by Hennessy, which also appeared in Blur under Venom 1000. Oh, it's a Hennessy modified Viper? I thought it was just like a standard Viper. Huh. I thought it was just like a base, like, what is it, like 3rd gen? Or 4th gen? Yeah, 4th gen SR, or RT10. Because not all of them had the SRT, or maybe it was... No, because it's not an ACR, it doesn't have the aero kit the ACR had at that point. Nope, it's that one? Okay. Because I know in the game, it's just based on the RT10, because, like, whenever you go to buy a Dodge Viper, it's the Dodge Viper RT10, like, is the one that's in the game. Or at least, like, the one you get later in the game. Maybe it's different. Maybe it has, like, a different ID in the game than, like, what it's supposed to be. I always thought it was just some custom made? Yeah. Maybe, like, the one on the cover is based on that one. But, yeah. Now here's where we get to the interesting, the really interesting bits. I know I've been saying that a lot. But the really special section, the Need for Speeds. Now this entire area, this might cause some interesting debate, because these are where some of the most iconic cars in racing games are. So, to start us off, I went back to the Need for Speed. Yeah, the Need for Speed. Honestly, I probably could have put like every cover car from a Need for Speed from like the first one to Undercover. No, The Run. Well, yeah, roughly. I probably could have put every single cover car from all the Need for Speeds there. I probably could have, and I don't know if I should have, but I ended up going with the ones that, like, people were talking about the most, and that I figured were most iconic, especially within their own games, like how well they were used in each of their games. So to start us off... Yeah... 350Z overrated, M3 GTR overrated, R8 not overrated, RX-7 and Evo X overrated, cap. I like how, out of all of them, you say the R8 isn't overrated. Absolutely Iconic or Slide on Legend, honestly Rachel's 350Z is a bit of both for me. That... Yeah, I could see that as well. I'd say for me, it's somewhere in this kind of range. Because, like, it is also one of those cars that, like, I, of course, see liveries made in different games, and I see reference in a lot of things, but, like, it's also not used that much in its own game. Like, with the Need for Speeds, it's also, like, do you see the car a lot? Because a lot of these Need for Speeds, it's iconic because you see it every few races, or for different cutscenes or reasons and stuff. And this one you just kind of don't. Like, after the first 30 minutes you don't see this car again. But it's one of the first things you see as you start at the career. So, it makes sense, and it's the cover car. I'd say, for me, probably here. That seems fair for a car like that. Okay. Now this is where things get dumb. Of course we have the most iconic car on the list, the M3 GTR from Most Wanted. Now the thing about this is, if I'm being fair, it goes in absolutely iconic, because it is absolutely iconic. It's also overrated. Now, the question I'm having is, I don't think it's fair to put it like here, because that doesn't really make sense. Because this isn't really, like... That's the weird spot. It's like the most extreme end of any of this. Thank you, Monster3269, for the follow. Weird you didn't add Murcielago from HP2 or R34 from 1? From Underground 1? Yeah, I did think about adding a couple more, but I couldn't think of, like... I probably could have added the Murcielago from 2, but I don't know about the R34 from 1. The E46 M3 in normal and GTR guys is a legend amongst car enthusiasts. True. Like, the M3 and the M3 GTR are fucking crazy. Like, all the stuff with DTM and Porsche and rule bending and all that is so cool. I'll put it like this. In Most Wanted and Carbon Iconic, Most Wanted 2012 to Unbound overrated, that is also fair. Because, like, in Most Wanted and Carbon, it makes sense how they use the M3 GTR. Like, it has, like, its purpose in the story and as an iconic piece of motorsport history. M3 GTR is so iconic but not suit for me well. Yeah, that's also fair. Well, that's the thing, like, this works perfectly in a lot of the games that it's, like, originally meant to be in, like Most Wanted and Carbon. It ticks all the boxes for, like, what you'd look for in an iconic car like this, basically. The problem being, one, the, like... It's almost one of the things where it's like, it's gotten too big. Like, it's too talked about or well known, or like, it's the only thing people ever bring up, that kind of thing. But not in, like, the worst possible way, but still in a way that's a bit unfortunate. And how the series has treated the car since about Most Wanted 2012, where it's just kind of seen, it's like, it's basically the keys that you dangle in front of old school, like, like, black box, people who only play the black box era games and don't do anything else outside of that, not even, like, the ones from before it, and, like, you just dangle it in front of them being like, hey, look, we have your favorite car, and they go, ooh, and they flip out. I know that's become less of a thing over time, but, like, especially with, I think it was 2012, 2015, and Payback, they did that kind of thing where it's like, here's it as a DLC, just go buy the car or unlock it, or yeah, buy our game, please. For me, the most iconic Need for Speed car is the RX-7 Battle Machine. We're gonna get to that, because that's a confusing one for me, because I was surprised whenever people brought that car up as much as they did. As a race car, it was iconic for racing in American motorsport. I didn't know it raced in American. I thought it was more or less like DTM and GT3 kind of stuff. I know it did that kind of thing, because I remember hearing Porsche got really pissy about it, because they were like, this is not a production car, this has a V8 engine, and side exhausts, and looks like a massive, it looks like you could ram through 8 buildings. But I know it was, yeah, I didn't know it was using American motorsport, though. It was actually? Okay. I'll have to look into that, because I want to see some of that footage now. You know what? Because it doesn't make sense not putting it there, I'll just go ahead and put it in absolutely iconic, because it is, to be frank, but it's also, you know what? I actually got an idea. Can I like add... No. Okay, what I was going to do, I don't know how I would go about doing it, because I don't think there's a way to. What I was going to do was basically like, can I like, no, I can't do that either. I was going to try and copy it and put it in both. Right, that's what I was going to do. I was going to put it in both, but I don't know how to actually insert a second image, because Tier Maker is interesting. But, actually, can I add additional image to your tier list? Images not saved will be the website, but included in your download. Does that save? Actually, let me hit save on this first. No. BMW tried to beat Porsche in American Motorsport? Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, I'll probably rip them out. Yeah. You know what? I'll probably just, in the edit, I'll probably stick another one down here. Just like, duct tape it on. Just kind of, there we go. That's probably what I'll do. I'll just put it in the edit. Because I'll probably make like a live stream clips video out of this. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah. And now we have another one. Which is Darius's car from Carbon. Now, there's a few interesting bits about this. One, even though everyone knows that it's an R8, and it's pretty much always called, like, the Audi R8 or Darius's R8, this wasn't an R8. It's actually, this was so long ago, yeah, that it wasn't even called that. It was called the Audi Le Mans Quattro. Because I think the R8 was out when Carbon was done, but during production, the R8 actually hadn't released yet. So all they had was the Le Mans Quattro, even though I know Pro Street had the R8, if I remember right. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they had the Le Mans Quattro as well. When did the R8 come out? Hold on, let me look at this. R8 was in development. Did the Audi R8 come out? 2006. Okay, so it was in development while the game was in development, but it only came out in when the game was out, pretty much. And that also reminds me of something I'm very sad about, which is the R8 ended production at the start of this year, which is big sad, but still. I actually joined VC, actually. I think, yeah, I'd say for the game, this is almost, I don't want to say it's used more effectively than the M3 GTR, because the M3 GTR as a plot device is used very well, but like, you see more of the R8 than you do the M3, if I remember correctly, at least for the majority of the game. And like, you generally see more of the stuff that happens with it. That, and to be fair, the actual end race, not the final chase. The final chase is better in Most Wanted to get with the M3 GTR, but the final race, like with Razor versus with Darius, I'd say the final race with Darius is a lot more like, has like not more impact, but is a better race in general. We don't ever get to drive the R8 in career mode. That is also fair. That is also a fair cop with it. I don't think I'd put it on the same level as the M3 GTR, but I'd say for what it was, I'd probably put it, probably about here is probably where I'd put the R8. Even though it's not like the most iconic from that time, I'd say it's still definitely up there, especially for how it was used. I mean, it's gonna be great pick. Yeah, that's understandable, with where it's at. Yeah. Right. And now we have Rachel's 350Z is beautiful. Yeah, that is fair. I really like the livery and the stylings with that. It's one of the few cars from that era that I'm like, they actually didn't just throw 800 aero pieces on and dump all over it. The Battle Machine RX-7 is an oddball. Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. Yeah, it's only now seemingly getting recognition from the NFS devs as well, the R... Yeah. Neither the cover car, Nissan GTR, nor a Hero car 240SX. That's what I was thinking as well, but a surprising number of people brought up the Battle Machine RX-7, and that didn't make a whole lot of sense to me because this car only appears in the intro cinematic that's like 1 minute and 20 seconds long. That's the only place you see this car, if I remember right. Wait, there might be like a race day where you use it. I think there is, isn't there? Aki Kimura's RX-7 is cooler IMO. That's what I was thinking too. That's the one I originally looked up. Like I looked up Aki Kimura's because I thought that's the one people were talking about, but no. Isn't appearing in the game as rival, neither you can win it. I mean, it's in that Battle Machine skin. Yeah. Eddie's R34 is cooler, but getting to drive Rachel's 350Z in the intro is a much better way to introduce it. Yeah. To be fair, I thought about including Eddie's R34, but even thinking back to Underground 1, I don't think of that as being, like, the most, well, it's the most iconic car from 1, but I don't know if it has the iconic factor of stuff like Rachel's car or other cars like it from that time in the series. Yeah, Ace R34 is cooler, yeah. Mostly because, it's also mostly loved because it's an R34, I will die on this hill. Fair. That is also fair. Because that's another factor of this, is how iconic is it inside and outside of the racing games, and is it iconic because of what it is, or because of how it's used in the game, or what it does in the game, or just how it looks in the game. Because that is also a big factor, is stuff like the livery and customizations and that kind of stuff. As well as as well as, like, is it a fast car in general if it's a real car? But, yeah. I like the Vortex Integra and Melissa's Intro Eclipse from Underground 1 more, to be honest. That is also fair. Those are still pretty interesting cars as well. I still, like, I'm gonna be honest, whenever I first was playing Underground 1, I didn't know that was an Integra. Because also you don't see, unless you use the reverse cam, which I didn't know how to do at the time, you don't see the front of it. And to be honest, from the back, especially with the taillights, I almost thought it was like a Supra or something with that like bulbous body kit on it. Wait, does the Battle Machine skin even appear in the game in any car? Because I can't recall. I don't think so. I don't think there's a car. Oh yeah, the intro for U1 has a dope-ass intro for the car. Yeah. Right. Right. I don't think the Battle Machine RX-7 actually shows up in the game, but a surprising number of people did mention it. Like, whenever I put up the community post, I think like 3 or 4 people did. Just realized John Tanner's Challenger isn't in this list. That is a fair call. Yeah, that's something else. No driver game is on this list, or represented on here, because I forgot to... I'm not familiar with the driver games. I probably should have thrown a couple of those on here, because those were pretty iconic. Yeah. Yeah, that is a fair call on my end. That's also why I put it the community post, because originally I only had like 15 cars that I had in mind, but like I knew there was a lot more I was missing. So I made sure like put out a community post and like ask. And also the FDRX7 is a very desirable car among Japanese sports car enthusiasts. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It still has a lot of that like GDM drift car factor that makes it really popular. In fairness, Tanner's Challenger is only used when it's necessary. That is also true. Because it's like most of the game you spent not in Tanner's car, if I remember right, except for a few missions here or there. But it's still like the cover car, and well, no, is it the cover car? Yeah. I mean, it's mostly for like the career. Yeah. I know you spend a lot of like the missions like hopping between other cars, and there's that one mission where you chase down your own car, which is still pretty interesting, but yeah. Yep. But back on the Battle Machine RX-7, I kind of did the game not so much the gameplay, but it can be applied to any iconic car, to be fair. Yeah. Need for Speed, Initial D, Fast and Furious, the XDRX-7 has a lot of fame. Yeah. I'd say, also given just like how the car looks and like why people would think it's so iconic from that little cinematic at the intro, I'd say at very least like a cool car. Like, I understand why people like seeing it, although I don't think it's like super iconic from that series. Like, the weird part was, whenever people brought up Pro Street, they brought up this car, but they didn't bring up Ryo Watanabe's car, which made no sense to me. I saw like 3 or 4 people mention the Battle Machine RX-7, and no one mentioned the Evo 10. Which baffled me. Like, what? Huh? I don't get that. I missed something. Like, can you zoom in the browser window? You know what? I got an idea actually. I have over here. I have a folder with all of the images I use in it. So let me just do this. I got a better idea. I probably should have been doing this the whole time, really. But let me do this. Here we go. So this is So this is the Evo 10 from Pro Street. The Evo 10 is more known outside the game than in it. Yeah. I mean, all the Evos basically are like iconic cars themselves in like the JDM space and the rally space. But like, when I think of Pro Street, this is the car I think of. This is like the car. Well, no. Scratch that. This and the 240SX. Those are the two that I think of. I probably should have put the 240 on this list, but yeah. Even though the announcer in the career intro made a big deal out of Rio getting one, it was a new car circa 2007? Yeah. For me, it's the M5? What? Is there even an M5 in Pro Street? You mean the M3? Like Ray Krieger? Excuse me. Let me actually make this a little bit smaller. Like there. E90R, it's hard to tell. Well, M3 E92, M3 E92, right? Yeah, I think he's... yeah, I think he's meaning Ray Krieger's M3. That is also fair. Although, like, I'd say Ray Krieger's is probably... Ray Krieger's and... maybe... I can't remember his name, but the Speed Challenge guy. Those are probably the two most iconic boss cars that aren't the Evo that I can think of. Because for me, in terms of iconicness, it'd probably be the M3, the GTO, the RX-7, and then the Mustang at the bottom. Yeah, Nate Denver's GTO. The Kings all had neat cars. Oh yeah, they did. I'd say my rank in terms of iconic is, well, the Evo 10 on top, and then the E92, the GTO, the RX-7, and the Mustang at the bottom. To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of Mazda RX-7, but Battle Machine RX-7 looks so cool because of that intro of Pro Street and the vinyl is so creative. That is also true. Like, it has like a really cool livery on. Like, if I pull that up, let me find the image I used for that. Yeah, like, this is just a cool livery. Like, it just looks really interesting, like, with how it's, like, designed. And, like, this color. Even though I'm pretty sure this is one of the default colors for the RX-7. GTO is most known for ending up in an 18X rolling in a ditch. True, but that's also basically any car that does speed challenges. But, like, this just looks like a hard NSF, RX-7. Especially because the body kit isn't too much either. Remember there's someone on Instagram who recreated Rio's Evo? Oh, I'll have to... If I can find that image, I'll pull it up in the edited version of the stream, but yeah. It also has a super cool build and replace as you go track car. Yeah. Like, they even show that in the cinematic, like, or not the cinematic, but like in the intro, where like it gets in crashes, and then you see it have like a different front bumper or different rims, like after a crash or something. So like it was literally shown as like a build and replace track car. Can I send you the Insta page if you want? Yeah, you can probably send it to me. I'll probably check it out like after the stream. But yeah. I'd say for Rio's Evo 10, probably going in like great picks, because I feel like that makes sense given the kind of car that it was and how it was used. And also, To be fair, the only thing I will take it away is, even though I do kind of like the look of it, the livery is a bit much. Although it's helped by not having like a super crazy color palette, it's a bit much in terms of like all the stuff that is going on everywhere on this. Also, some more good calls. R34 on SRS, Ken Block's SWRX, McRae's Subi, and the Countach tester from Vice City? For how cool they look, it's disappointing the King's cars and the actual races are pretty useless. Kings. Yeah, that is fair. I think the only King car that is actually good is, or no, the only two that are actually useful is like the drift car, because I'm pretty sure that's actually pretty good at drift events, and the drag car, less because it's good and more because it's really good at like the wheelie competitions, if I remember right. So like it's basically just like a brain off car for them. Also, Dogzilla, when it comes to a lot of those cars, with the exception of maybe the SRS car, those are iconic not from being in racing games at all. And I tried to make it like cars that are iconic for being in a specific racing game or for doing something in a racing game. Like that, the closest exception to that is this, but like that's been in a lot of racing games for very good reason, because it fits in with those very well. Like whether it's the Dirt series or the Forza Horizon games, all that kind of stuff. Probably a balancing thing. It would be hard to adjust to the player's cart. Right, that too. Okay. I mean, the one from SRS is in the beginning, but yeah, I understand. Yeah. Civic and Evo Apex Glide was a bit better looking, IMO. I don't know what that is. Yeah. Blacklist members always have lower specs in comparison. Yeah, generally. Generally throughout that throughout Most Wanted. Now this is actually probably the newest car. Yeah, this is. Well, yeah, this is the newest game from anyone on this list. We have Rocky's 190E from Unbound. Now, to be fair, this is probably the most iconic car from the current era of Need for Speed, at least as far as I can tell. But I don't know how iconic it's going to be in the future of the series. Other crew members of Rio's team? Yeah. Could just put the Mercedes to the Y? No, I don't think it's like a bad idea in concept for the car. Why for me is what? Really? I'm not saying it's anywhere close to the level of cars like the Evo or the R8 or especially the M3, because it's not. Not the car itself, but more so how they customize it. It's a dope car in the game and IRL as well. Yeah, I'd say like they didn't ruin the car. It's not how I would have done it. It's certainly not. Ludicrous, you're saying it's really gaudy. Did you not see any of what you do in these games? Like... Okay, so in that case, Savo's Celine from MC2. I did actually see someone suggest the Celine from MC2 and 3, but I wasn't really sure about doing it. But Ludicrous, like, I don't... Oh wait, it's not Evo 190. Yeah, we already put the Evo in great picks, because I reckon that's fair for it. We're talking about the 190E now. Oh wait, not Evo 190E. I actually don't know. Wait, let me check and see if it is an Evo. Rockies 190E. Let me see, is it actually based on an Evo or an Evo 2, or is it just the car? Like the regular 190E? The 1988 Mercedes-Benz 190E 2.516 WT01. I don't think it is the Evo. Yeah, because I'm looking at it. The modifications they did are based on the Evo, but the car itself is just like the street version. Because it has the Evo rear wing and front bit. Huh. I think what it is I think in the game you can like put a body kit on it, which is the Aero from the 190E, or not the one, the Evo 2, but the car itself doesn't start like an Evo. It's like the same thing as how in the Forza games you can put the M3 GTR parts on the M3, even though there's a separate M3 GTR car. GT4 Ford is on the list too. Happy to see that. Yeah. Yeah, I almost wanted to put a little bit higher, and I might by at the end of the list, but that's where it's going for now. And actually, I probably will get y'all's help in a bit, because a couple of these, like the Ridge Racer car and the F-Zero car, I'm not as familiar, so I'm probably going to move those around more based on what y'all say, but I wanted to wait till a good few more people were here before I move them around. Hold on, let me... There we go. So I'd say 4... Speaking of GT4, the Skyline Pace car, yep. Yeah. Right, to be fair, entire car basically has Evo body kit except rear bumper. Yeah, right. Like, it's got the body kit from the 190E, and it's got upgraded engine and stuff, so like... It's effectively a 190E in everything but or 190E Evo in everything but name. Like, it's still got the body kit on. Like, if I pull up the picture, let me go ahead and... Where is it? Excuse me. Here we go. Like that's definitely the wing from the Evo, because it has like that flared bit and it's a little bit tall, and it's got like the like extended front bumper, or like the splitter here, because on the base 190E it just kind of like curves in and it just kind of like ends. It doesn't come back out with the splitter. It's a bit much, but pretty tame in comparison to other 190E builds. It's not even that much in like customization. Like, the only thing it has that's like extra outside of the Evo body kit is like a little bit of fender flares and the rear bumper being a bit like custom. But in terms of like the only like thing that's a bit much is the visual, is like the livery and the paint. But that's like fender flares are also, yeah. So the only actual like part customization that's done on this, besides it just being stylized like an Evo, is the like bit at the rear here where it's like flares up. Am I using light mode in 2024? What? The headlight tape kills me? Ardo, have you never seen rally cars before? Those wheels look way too big? Yeah, a little bit. Like, again, this is not how I would have done this car, but I can see why it would be done like this. Like, you could definitely do a lot worse with it. Yeah, the like custom diffuser where like they took out the whole rear bumper to put it on. To be fair, tape doesn't look good on non-rally cars. Yeah, but I can see like for this, even if it's not directly referencing rally cars, it might to an extent supposed to give it like, I guess, a DIY kind of feel, because it's also what like the rear bumper and how that whole like the back part of it. Like, let's see if I can find an image of like the back of the car. No, not really. But like that entire bit is also, I guess, to look a bit DIY as well. Its stance? Not really. The black white split personality and the wording is probably the most iconic part. Yeah. On rally cars, it's not for aesthetic though, it has a purpose. DIY more like Ricer. To be fair, if this is Ricer, what does that make a lot of these like other Need for Speed cars? Especially ones like the 350Z and basically any car you make circa that era of Need for Speed. Yeah, and Dogzilla is right. The most iconic bit probably is the livery. And that, I'd say, I'm not the biggest fan like how they do the front rims, but I'd say for the stylized and the livery does do a lot. So even though it's not like, it's far from being up there in terms of like iconic Need for Speed cars, Even the S tier M3 is just an M3 GTR with slight body changes in the livery. I don't even think there are body changes, it's just the livery if I remember right. Because I think the M3 GTR, that is just like the race version, like the same one that's, what is it? That normally has like the German motorsport livery, like the white, red, and blue one. If that car screams Ricer, camber backdrop, gold front grille. Also, they went on Wish and searched car mods? No? Because what modifications are there that are Ricer? The rear bumper has a diffuser that's off, and it's got like gold accenting here and there. The rest of this is how the car comes. Like, all of the body kit is just an E90 190E Evo. The entire rest of the car is just that. Honestly, kind of overrated, but it's a sort of cool car if you're a racer. Yeah. M3 GTR is a race car with livery. It's just straight up. Yeah. M3 GTR used for Le Mans is closer to the road-going M3 GTR than the one in the game. I thought it was just the same, because I know in like dev builds they have it with the German motorsport livery, and it's literally just the same car with the different livery put on. The M3. I'd say with how it's used, even though it's far from my favorite, I'd say it at least goes like here. You can see stripped interior in Most Wanted. Yeah, like the race car. Right, like that's how they have the actual race car. Because I don't know if you can in-game. I don't think you can with the camera, but I think with debug cam, you can like go in and like see the exhaust going under the seat, or where the seat should go for the M3, which is interesting. It's tastefully made, the 190, I like it. I'm talking about the car in general, not as in Need for Speed, just the car as what it's like. Like, if I saw that IRL, I would think Ricer completely. Sort of? I mean, I guess, it depends on where you're at as well. For me, you could do a lot worse to a 190E. Like, a lot worse. Like, I've seen people mess up cars like that before, and it is... it's something. Tastefully made for an extra looking build, IMO. Yeah, like it's not right. Like it's not the cleanest looking build, but it's also not trying to be the cleanest looking build. It's trying to be a bit rough around the edges and that kind of thing. But also, it might look like it's trying a little too hard, but you can try a lot harder, and some people have. Oh, but I'd say for what it does, it does it well enough. Now, this part of the list is where they're not, like, iconic necessarily for how they're used in the game, but more for the game that they're a part of, from what I remember. The Stansville's RX-8 got some famous some time ago. Is where it went too far, IMO? Yeah. Yeah. But, like, this is where things are a bit different in how they work with the Forza series, because the only thing these cars ever do in their games is the cover car and the first 10 minutes of gameplay. But there are, like, different ways that those first 10 minutes of gameplay are. So, of course, but I'd say it's closer to Ricer than aesthetically pleasing. Yeah, that's why I'm not putting it, like, any higher on the list. I still think, like, in concept and more or less in execution, it at least belongs here. Eddie's Skyline? I forgot. Yeah, my bad, G. I forgot. Along with a couple other ones, especially from like the older Need for Speed games. I'd say for let's start with like the earliest one, Motorsport 3. I'd say more just going off of like how the first few minutes of the game are. It's just kind of, it's an interesting little thing. I do like the R8. Of course, like, we have the other R8 up here. But I wouldn't consider it super iconic. It is iconic to Motorsport 3, though, because it's the cover car. It's the first thing people saw. This one was a real R8 for sure. Yeah, because it was 2009 by this point. It was the R8. I mean, you got the Hydros Custom, that's pretty based. Maybe the Revenge Race from Burnout Paradise could have been added? Yeah. I'm also surprised R33 and 32 Skylines don't have more stage presence, but the R34 does kind of steal the show. Yeah. Paradise Hunt, lol. I mean, I call it the Custom Coupe and the Custom Coupe Ultimate. I forget it was even in Paradise. In FM3, it felt ultra clunky, felt like a truck IMO. Yeah, and that's kind of how FM3's physics are. Like, okay, this is a hot take. At least from what I've seen, this is a fairly hot take for me. I only think there are 3 Forza Motorsport games with good physics, and that is FM 1, 2, and 8. I don't think 3 through 7 had good physics. They were Simcade physics, and they were physics you could race with. I did not enjoy driving in any of those games. That is my hot take for the day. Has never played any Forza game? Fair. brother, Burnout Revenge, not Paradise Kick. Wait. Dogzilla, what are you talking about then? Oh, did I say Paradise whenever you put Burnout Revenge earlier? I thought I said Revenge. That must have been what it was. Oh yeah. But that is my hot take for the day. I don't think any of the Forza Motorsport games from 3 to 7 had good physics. 2 I enjoyed. 2 felt like the cars still were able to be driven without having what I call Forza brand understeer. And every Forza game, including the Horizons after FM2, has this understeer, including FM8, but FM8 actually takes measures to counteract it and mean you can actually take corners properly. Because to me, all of the Forzas feel understeery from 3 to 7. And the Horizons, at least since 4 and 5 is the most understeery, but 1 through 3 also is a bit. Not as bad as 3 and 4, but it's... or not 4 and 5, but it's definitely there. I much prefer FM4 to 6 for driving with a controller. It was a lot smoother and pleasant. Yeah, I'd say my least favorite physics of that area was FM5 for obvious reasons. Hot Tech Forza peaked with FM6? How? FH3, yeah, it's more of the fair call was FH3 there. Forza fell off with FM5, also fair. Because the thing is, outside of the physics, I enjoy 3 and 4 a lot more than 5 through 7, but the physics are what you spend most of the game dealing with. Great multiplayer system, awesome car list, great physics, IMO, introduction of Night and Rain. Most of that stuff was the same in 7. I mean, the multiplayer didn't work as well in 7, if I remember correctly, but, most of that stuff was also in 7. Yeah. 7 didn't change much, and many things were worse, including physics and multiplayer. Most of the opposite of FH5's launch. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, within the context of the games, we're back on, how iconic they are. I'd say, in terms of iconic, I probably want to put the 480 Italia as someone join. Hold on, let me see who joined. I don't even know who joined. Let me actually see. Oh, Dizzy.
Can't you tell by my voice? What the fuck, man?
I had you kind of turned down and my music was pretty loud.
Ah, fair.
Right. Whenever we were talking the other day and Chris was in VC, he was really quiet, so I turned everyone down and maxed out my volume.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
I'm just chilling. I got no one else to talk to, so might as well hop in, you know?
Yeah, well, you could probably tune into the tier list, because that's what I'm doing right now, is the tier list stream.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, I wouldn't be in the stream VC if I wasn't streaming.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I am muting myself. I'm muting that stream because I do not want to hear myself. I'm gonna be real.
fair. My voice when getting someone's attention for real, for real. Yeah, someone in chat.
Holy shit.
Yo. But yeah,
Oh, shut the fuck up. Resistor is not Rocket League Fortnite.
where do you?
Oh, fuck.
What do you?
Look in the stream BC.
Oh, he just said that as well. I don't even know if that is that someone in the stream.
Yeah, apparently that's the newest in-joke of the pen, apparently.
Dang. Oh, that's you.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
that's
good.
Weesty
I'm
in
good.
chat. Okay, I should have guessed that because I saw IO Weesty. Okay, or Westy.
I'm gonna judge you this something quick. F-Zero is C tier. I'm sorry, what?
My reasoning. I know shit all about F-Zero. To be fair, I was talking about this earlier. The F-Zero, the Blue Falcon, and I already forgot its name from Ridge Racer. I don't know those series super well, so like I'm gonna go off of more or less what y'all say. I'm gonna rearrange a few of these near the end of stream.
I would put that up on B tier because at the time, this series was one of the very first racing games that gave you a good sense of speed.
Right.
And without that game, a lot of these racing games would not exist.
Right, or at least not in the state they are. I'll probably move that around a bit.
I would argue B tier at least.
I'll put it in B tier for now, but I'll move some stuff around near the end because I'm unfamiliar with that series. So like I don't have
I'm a F-Zero connoisseur, so I
Right.
educated on that shit.
rocket car from Simpsons Hit and Run, the glass cannon. Yeah, I should have done something like that.
Wait, is my audio okay for the stream or no?
You're a little bit quiet, but I reckon it's mostly alright.
Well, that's because I'm standing up and not that far from my mic, so...
Actually, no, you seem like you're probably alright on the waveform. I'm looking at, like, OBS to see how everything's balanced out.
I'm just trying to make sure if I don't sound like I'm in a car or something, trying to be at least a little bit professional if I'm on stream.
Nah, that's alright, yeah. Yeah. Peak driving, it's fine. It's not really driving, you floor and let Jesus take the wheel. Fair.
That is F-Zero. That is straight just F-Zero. It's like, just put on the gas and hope for the love of God you go somewhere.
I think he's talking about the rocket car from Hit and Run. Oh wait, no.
Both apply.
Yeah, fair. I haven't played... I need to play Hit and Run, because I hear people talk a lot about it, and I still haven't yet to play it yet.
The sucky thing is, it is not great on emulators.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird.
Oh.
Unless you do the GameCube emulation. It works fine on there, but not PS2.
Dang. You haven't played Hit and Run? Nah, I didn't have it when I was growing up. Yeah.
Yeah, this man's a fake racing game fan. The YouTuber.
I didn't play the not racing game Hit and Run. I have a DocX link
this
for
man
it.
did play Simpsons Hit and Run that was basically GTA. What the fuck?
Yeah. My first GTA was 5, which I only played for like a few hours because my uncle
Boo
had
this
it.
man. Boo this man. Chat, boo this man.
To be fair, the first GTA that I got to play myself was 3. Whenever I did the Rockstar video a couple months back. Boo! Yo, sup! Started with 5, damn. Yeah. Well, because my uncle had it on his 360, and that was the first time because I wasn't allowed to play GTA when I was growing up. No matter why weren't you just born earlier, idiot noob? Little baby man. Little baby man.
It's hilarious that I am older than this man.
Yeah. I'm just a little baby man. Well, the thing is, I say that, I'm probably also the biggest person. Little baby man.
Like, what's your height, huh?
6'3".
Shit, you're tall.
I knew that. Yeah, that's just how it is. Yeah. Meanwhile, me who played Vice City at age 5 somehow. Yeah, I played GTA 5. I think when I was 10. No, I think it was close to like 8.
I had the weirdest obsession with GTA 5 growing up because my mom was like, no, hell no, you're not playing GTA in this household.
Right, like my mom was
So
against.
for the longest time, and then when I did get my copy, my dad gave it to me, and it was like over the mail, and I just snuck it into my freaking system, essentially.
Right, like I wasn't allowed to play any games like that with like shooting people, kind of violence and that kind of thing for the longest time.
And the funny thing is, when I finally played it, it was so underwhelming. Like, really? This is it? It's just a standard shooter, but you're playing as a criminal. Like, what?
To be fair, I could kind of see that. Whenever I played it, I had like a decent time with some of the missions and stuff I got to play originally. But like I didn't like super want to play more. Granted, I haven't got into like GTA Online any because I've only played it on PC, and everyone tells me GTA Online PC is.
You're gonna hate me for this, but my first Rockstar game was Red Dead 2.
No, that's alright.
I mean, fair, but it's like a lot.
I mean, my first Rockstar game was
Just
MC3.
tell me, I'm like, are you kidding me? You didn't play any Grand Theft Auto growing up or anything like that? What the fuck?
Right, like I wasn't allowed to play GTA growing up, so those obviously weren't gonna be my first. But my first Rockstar game was Midnight Club 3 back in the day.
Yeah, I didn't get to play Rockstar games until I was like 17.
Yeah.
And Red Dead 2 was my first one because I was like, I am still to this day big into Western. So my parents were like, fuck it, yeah.
Right.
Do the Western. It's historical. It's actually will be good for you.
My first was Rockstar Table Tennis because I'm a real gamer, bruh.
This motherfucker playing table tennis.
Yo, my guy got that Rockstar Table Tennis. The best Rockstar game.
Why is that game actually really good though? Like for real, why is it?
I'm yet to play it. And I don't know if I ever will, but.
Okay, do you know what's a fun fact though? The first iteration of their modern engine was through
yeah, it's the Rage engine. Well, no, the first.
Yeah.
No, you wanna know what the first iteration of it was on?
What?
Midnight Club 1.
That makes sense.
Because
makes sense.
the Rockstar Advanced game engine is heavily based on the Angel game engine, and Angel Studios is what Rockstar San Diego is called back in the 90s before they started making games for Rockstar and got bought out by Rockstar. That's what Rage means? Yeah, Rockstar Advanced game engine.
Also, do you know Spec Ops: The Line?
No.
Originally, that was going to be through Barking Dog Studios, but they got bought out by Rockstar, and then it went to Jaeger and stuff. So just weird coincidence that Rockstar almost had the license to fucking Spec Ops: The Line.
Yeah. Yeah, and Dogzilla, you're right. Table Tennis was effectively a tech demo for the Rage engine. For all intents and purposes, that's what it was.
Even though it's a really good game, honestly. Get your buddies, I'm gonna just drink for like a fucking half an hour and you'll be fine.
I feel so stupid, but then I realize you're here and haven't played Simpsons Hit and Run. I made my second most popular video, and very close to being my most popular video, is on Midnight Club, where I talk about the Rage engine. I mean, Wii Sports could be argued to be the same. That is also fair. But also...
Well, this man doesn't play Mario Kart, so boo this man.
Okay, this is not a hot take, but this is genuinely, like, how it's happened. I have never owned a sit-down Nintendo console. Like, an actual, like, a GameCube, a Wii, a 64, none of that. I've never owned any of them. The closest I had...
Garfield Kart Racing on top. Oh,
Garfield...
fun fact, I'm fast. I actually did get to play Garfield Kart with Ray. For those who don't know, Ray Savick is who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And it was the funniest game night I have ever experienced.
Wow.
He was genuinely extremely mad at the sleep power-up. And he, in one of his videos, you know the clip where it says, "Nothing is the most fun in Garfield Kart."
I remember that. I don't know what video that's from.
That was because of our game session, and he was so mad, we switched to another game afterwards.
Dang. Rainick, same been
It
a long...
was so funny, I wish I recorded it.
Oh. Same been a long time PC Master Race, then PS3 was my first console? Yeah. I only actually got a PC in the last 2 years. like I've used PC before plenty of times, but like I've never actually played computer games in that sense, with the exception of maybe. No, the only actual like computer game, and it was back in the CD-ROM days that I played, was Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius on PC.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I had that shit growing up too.
It's an abysmal, awful,
It's a
amazing masterpiece.
Okay, yeah, it's a straight fever dream of just some of the weirdest game design you'll ever encounter in a licensed video game.
Ardo, it's nightmare fuel. It genuinely is, like, the aliens in that game scared me as a kid. Yeah, that's a game. It is. It's based on the movie that was from the same time. It was like the first Jimmy Neutron thing. The aliens in that game genuinely scared me as a kid.
Which is funny because they're all based on chickens.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You never seen the movie?
No, I haven't. I've only played the game.
Bruh.
Legoland is peak gaming? Oh, yeah. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just imagining, like, nah, I don't watch the movies. I play the licensed video games.
Yeah! I mean, I did the same with, No, I saw Kung Fu Panda and played the game. But there's a couple other ones that I did that with as well.
There's a Kung Fu Panda game?
Yes! And it's awful, and I love it. It's another one of those situations where, like, it's not good, but it's fun. You know? I swear, dude, Boy Genius is right for analog horror? Yeah, it is.
Boy Geniuses. That
Yeah.
was like brain blast. I'm gonna make a horror scene now.
The Shrek games as well? Oh god, yeah, probably. Right. We should probably actually, like, be...
Get back to the tier list.
Yeah, it's been a minute since, so, the 458 Italia from FM4.
It's overrated.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Mostly because I feel like a lot of people either over-hate or over-love this game. And I have always just been on the, I just don't care for it at all.
I just read chat. Imagine being in a forest in the dark by yourself, and then you hear Carl in the distance go, "Croissant, croissant." Run like hell. Yeah. You say like they usually overhate or overrate this kind of car?
Yeah. That's what I hear from like Ray server in particular. And they're all like big racing guys.
I kind of see that, but it's also like not really. It's talked about a fair bit because like the 458 Italia is seen as, at least as far as I can tell, one of the best modern Ferraris. Like it's one of the ones that like all the rappers usually buy and that kind of thing.
Yeah. That is one aspect. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
It's like it and the Huracan are similar in that way, where it's just like it's. Well, I'm not going to call it the people's supercar because it's still hundreds of thousands of dollars, but like it's a people-known supercar. Like it's one of those ones that like when you think of supercar, like modern Ferrari, this is one of the ones that comes up. It's like this, the LaFerrari, maybe the FXXK, and what? I can't even think of another one. But like those are like peak modern Ferraris.
The one from the 90s.
The Enzo.
Ferrari.
Dogzilla, the Enzo is old enough at this point, I don't even know if you could call it a modern Ferrari. Oh. 458 is legit the best modern Ferrari. It was beautiful then and now. Yeah, because it's... I mean, the 458 is now almost... No, it is 15 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good-looking game. I am not a fan of its driving all over cars at all.
Oh no, I told everyone earlier, I went on a big rant. I don't think FM3 through 7 have good physics.
Okay, I'm gonna be the biggest fucking concern. Oh wait, which one of these was like the first for 360?
The first
that
one...
was my childhood.
The first for 360 was 2.
Yeah, that was my childhood growing up because that was one of the very first games I ever played, period. Because of my dad and everything.
Right.
Just plopped me out with a controller and being like, yo, I got a 360 and stuff. And I was like, what, 3 or 4 at the time?
Right. For me, it was always 599. Yeah. The 599 is cool, and the 599XX and XXE are really cool, but, like, that's not, like, the first thing I think of when it comes to Ferrari. Like, I don't think of Ferrari as, like, a Grand Tourer brand a lot of the time. Even though I know they make a lot of cool Grand Tourer cars, that's not, like, the Ferrari thing I think of. 509 California, other front-engine Ferraris do look real nice. Oh yeah, they look cool as well. Like, Ferrari, I can't think of many, like, bad-looking Ferraris. The 612 is a bit bulbous around the edges, that kind of thing. And I know the 599 is based around that kind of styling, but, yeah. I'd say, for me, the 458 is probably about here. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
When I think dope front-engine sports supercars, I think Maserati? I guess? When it comes to front
Yeah, I can
end...
see that. No, I can see that.
When it comes to front engines... the front engine supercars that come to mind for me is stuff like the R35 GTR, probably some American stuff like the Challengers and that kind of stuff, even though those are more muscle cars. What?
I'm trying to think of like some really good ones. All I can think of is like the ones from the 60s, but
Yeah, like modern sports and supercars that are front engine. V10 and V12 Maseratis, they have the best sounding cars bar none? Actually no, modern front engine cars, you wanna know what's one of the best sounding ones? The LFA. Nothing beats LFA. Done. best sounding V10, V12 front engine car, LFA.
oh, the one from 2012?
No, yeah, that one. Ardo, no, it's front engine. The LFA was front engine.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm trying to Google it.
No, I'm trying to say that to Ardo because he thought it was mid-engine.
Okay.
Yeah. But now the LFA was front engine, and like, there are few cars that are as good sound. Well, like that's also V10s in general, because like some of the best sounding cars I think of are the Viper, the Carrera GT, the LFA. I'd say the Audi Lamborghini V10 was pretty good sounding as well. I mean, I can't deny the LFA sounds anything other than amazing. Right. Aston Martin V12 Veda. Yeah, the Aston Martin has a ton of front engine sports cars. Yeah, even the R8 V10 was dope. Yeah, but that's also the same one that was used in all the Lambos at that time too, if I remember correctly. Although the V10 is cool. It's in those cars. I don't know why I never hear it talked about much as like a really good sounding V10. It's still good sounding because it is a V10, but among like the other V10s, it doesn't have like the growl of the Viper or like the singing quality of the LFA or like I guess the sharpness of the Carrera GT. A splitter V6 can sound insane too though. Clio for example. I'll have to take a listen to that because I can't think of how that sounds right now. DBS my beloved. Fair. Thank you Dizzy for the follow. Yeah.
Holy shit. But why would I follow when I can just join the stream? Holy shit.
Yeah. To make funny number go up more.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And speaking of like those iconic V10s and such, the Viper. Now this one I want to put fairly high because like I see the Viper all the time, especially in the Forza series. I see it referenced like all the time. S-Class no less. Yeah, that's sort of where I'm thinking is very high up on the list in one of the top two categories. I don't know. Well, that's the thing. I love last gen Viper. Yeah, that's the only thing. Currently, the only thing that's absolutely iconic on the list is the M3 GTR. And I don't know if it's on that same tier. It's up there, but I don't know if it's up there.
Okay, trying to understand the tier list. Are we rating each game by their car, or how iconic the overall game is?
Different factors. It's like, how well is it used in the game? How iconic is it to that game? Like, how well tied is it to that game? And if it's a real car, like, how cool and fast is the car itself?
Gotcha.
The Viper GTSR and the one Touring Viper from GT3, love driving this in FH2. I'd rank a Viper high up regardless of which game it is, same with C5 and C6 Corvette, yeah. Like, that's why the Grid Viper is all the way up here as well, because the Viper is just a cool car in general. And I'd say it at least belongs in the same tier with the Grid Viper. FH1 through 4 all S-Class simple? Really? All S-Class?
How about no?
I'm not really thinking so. I'll see where I want to put the rest of them as we go along. But I'd say for the original, aside from 2 IMO, I'd say 2 and 3.
I would put it on a low B tier.
I don't know if I'd put it that low, but I'll get to it whenever we get there. I'd say the original Viper from Horizon 1. Yeah. I'd say that's probably going to be the only car that goes on the same tier as the M3. Because, like, it is up there in terms of, like, being iconic to, like, specific racing games. That's the one thing I will hand American cars, is there's a lot of slop, but the highs are insanely iconic, like old Mustangs, Roadrunners, of course the Viper and Corvette. Yeah. Oh yeah. European cars tend to just do the thing that's always worked right. Like, that's the weird thing. There have been different eras with, like, American and European design and development where, like, there have been long strings of doing the same thing forever, and then like, sharp periods of innovation. And it's like, at different times, different companies were good at that.
I'd have to agree with you on that, Payman.
Yeah. I'd say, like...
His parkour at the time was pretty much just like, hey, let's make everything so sleek that it's pretty much like a rocket ship at times.
Right. I think I'm the first person in 10 years to order blank DVDs, probably. Even 911 fanatics couldn't deny the 911 is so overdone. Right.
I'm sorry, 911 Porsche is amazing. Shut the fuck up.
It is. Dizzy, what's the difference between what are the major changes between a Porsche from 2020, a 911 from 2024 and 2008?
Not much difference, but I always go for the 78 Porsche from 911.
Right. Like, there have been major changes in the Porsche lineup, but they only happen every 10, 15 years, especially in the last 30 years.
Hey, true. Mostly because it's such an iconic design. It's like, it's like, if it ain't broke, definitely don't fix it.
Right, like, the 50s cars were very low and, like, almost, like, flat to an extent. Then the 60s and 70s ones were still very small, but had, like, the bulbous bumpers and that. Then the 80s ones started looking a little bit bigger. Then the 90s ones were a lot more rounded and bubbly shaped. And then the 2000s ones kind of solidified the design that we still have now. That's just how the 911s are.
I don't like how modern 911s have a spoiler on the back that looks like just stupid.
I mean, yeah, but they're trying to be also track cars in a lot of areas.
Yeah, but I always prefer how it looks in the 78 version, which is just like a
right, like
straight,
with the big ducktails and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the ducktail, yeah. I always like that when it comes to spoilers. Never like unless if it's a particular type of sports car on a track that actually makes sense for it, then I just want it.
Yeah, like below the door now it has a piece of framing there, and the boot trunk is now more sharp. Yeah. Like, it's very small details, but there's not been a whole lot of changes over the last 15 years of 911.
Overall handling obviously has been getting better.
Right.
But you can't tell that in a design.
They are very different. Okay. Like, the major differences outside, like, performance, yeah, performance will have been a lot different, but, like, when I look at Porsches from the last 15 years. A lot of the shape, a lot of the visual cues, a lot of the, like, design has been the same throughout that entire time.
Yeah.
3RS isn't great looking, but the ones that the German, it's like German ACR. Yeah. Function over. Well, yeah. I'm interested in stuff like the Panamera and Taycons. The Panamera, the Taycon's an interesting car. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think the Panamera and Taycon look particularly great as cars. The Taycon looks alright, but the Panamera is... Which had less change over the years, the 911 or the R35 GTR? The GTR had less change. Didn't they actually very recently do actually some major changes to the GTR? Or was that just like a concept they never actually did anything with?
I think it might have been a concept.
Dang. Because that actually looked pretty cool, but I don't think they ever did anything with it. Panamera's...
Because it probably wasn't as practical as they thought it would be.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we got this good design. No way we can make it work, though.
Taycan ST is best looking EV IMO? Rimac. Audi e-tron... Yeah, Audi e-tron GT, that as well.
Okay, I'm also disappointed that you didn't include two particular games that would make the list more unique. Mad Max and My Summer Car. Like, I am very disappointed in you, man. Why didn't you include those?
My Summer Car because I forgot it's a racing game, and Mad Max because I forgot it exists.
They're just so unique kinds of games that they would feel like they should belong on all-time racing games and stuff, you know?
Yeah, it is sort of fair. To be fair, I did a tier list that was the best racing games of all time. I think it probably the end of this year or next year I'm going to redo that list because I will have played a lot more racing games that I hadn't up to that point, so I'll be able to actually...
You better include all of the list on there.
Oh yeah, I did in the original list too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Safe.
Although I played the US version, so it didn't rank very high. Yeah. I said it was a cool-looking game that drove like ass because I made the mistake of playing the US version.
Yeah, one of my friends in different servers said, like, damn, that's one of the worst games of all time. And I'm like, did you play the US version or the PAL version?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a bit... But yeah,
I only knew how good it was recently because of
right.
So thank you.
Right, I only found out the past few months too, myself. I'm gonna keep your 911...
I guess because, like, oh, I have just this instinct nature of, like, oh, hey, US, I'm American, always go for the US version, because they're, like, maybe translation issues and, like,
Yeah.
lots of censorships in other countries and stuff. Not so much with that game, though.
Yeah. Yeah, y'all can keep your 911s, Vipers, and BMWs. I'll take my Simpsons car rocket to the moon. Now Barney is snowplow.
No,
Fair.
I'll take my Mad Max vehicle and harpoon this man's ass.
Yeah. Alright, so now we have the next one on the list, Horizon 2. I don't think Horizon 2 is nearly on the same level as Horizon 1 for
Okay,
iconic.
For nostalgia reasons, I would say S tier, but I am highly biased.
I have some nostalgia for this game, although my nostalgia is with the 360 version. So take that for what you will.
Oh wait, it was on the original Xbox?
Yeah, it was on the 360.
No, I said original Xbox,
No.
not the... Like, okay.
It was
I
on-
about to say, like, oh.
It was on the 360 in the 1. But the 360 version
Oh,
is
right, they remade it, right.
Yeah. Well, they remade it for the 360. They didn't... Because it was supposed...
one.
Yeah, it was supposed to just be on the 1. And the 360 version... The 360 version is basically... If you took the map from the 1 version, removed, like, 20% of it, made it look like from 2007, and then gave it...
Oh, no, wait, I'm not nostalgic for 2, I'm nostalgic for 1, I'm stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you already have an assessment, yeah, no.
Yeah. Yeah, I had that version too, man. Didn't get the Xbox One yet. Yikes. Yeah.
Yeah, I hated 2 when it came to the original Xbox.
Really?
Yeah. No, not the original. 2. I hated 2 on the 360 though.
That's sort of fair because it just felt like badly implemented Horizon 1 physics on a bad-looking Horizon 2 on the 1 map.
Mm-hmm.
Controversial
It's like
opinion.
trying to play, say, okay, this is gonna sound stupid, but have you played Dragon Age Inquisition on the 360?
No.
Oh god, it is. It's like trying to look at a slideshow while you're trying to enjoy a nice RPG. It's so.
Dang. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. Controversial opinion, FH2 is worse than FH5. If you're talking about the 360 version, yes. Yeah, the 360 version, like, objectively, the worst Horizon game to have been made, or objectively the worst Horizon, is FH2 on the 360, because it is barely finished. Like, the progression is somewhere in there, I think. The physics are drunk. Like,
It's also fun to think about that Horizon was essentially the Xbox One's Halo for a long time because it was like the best-selling Xbox game out of the One's lineup, which is not saying much at all.
right.
But it's just funny to think about that they went from like the highest shooter of all time to being at the bottom of the market, yet having the highest racing game sales of all time.
Dogzilla, it just felt way too empty. I can kind of see what you mean, but I have two counterpoints to that. One, FH3, because it had a literal desert in it, and also FH5. And as well, FH2 was the first Horizon game which had the more open design that FH1 didn't have. So you can imagine they probably didn't have the full, like, they didn't actually know how they wanted to do that fully open design yet whenever they, like, were building Horizon 2.
Yeah, I can see that.
I love driving across the coast on FH2. Yeah, that's fair. When it comes to the...
It's fine. Yeah, it's fine as an open world, I guess. Like, say if it was an open... I'm not sure. When was the first game that had the open world?
Most people played it on 360, so I class as a 360 title, so the game FH2 is a 360 game?
No.
No?
No.
That isn't the case?
What kind of take is that? What the fuck?
No? FH2
That's
360
like saying,
sales.
Oh yes, Need for Speed Most Wanted was on the 360, therefore, it was on the PS2, so it's only a PS2 game. Meanwhile, like, it was meant for...
Yeah, it was an Xbox One launch title.
Xbox 360 launch title.
No, it was a
We're
one
getting
launch
so
title.
confused with these naming schemes, holy shit.
No, it was a one launch title. Like,
Yeah.
alright, point
Yeah,
8...
for Horizon 2, yeah.
Yeah, Horizon 2 was a one launch title, yeah.
Need for Speed was 360.
Yeah.
God, I hate Xbox naming scheme.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, granted, I don't have, like, the most accurate information. Yeah, no, from what I'm seeing, the one version outsold it 2-1. So what are you talking about?
This man on drugs? Like,
What?
Sir, would you like to explain yourself to us?
FM5 and FH2 were launched. Yeah, no, FM5 was the launch title. Like, that came out with the original Xbox One. But FM5 was FM5. Because FH2 actually didn't come out until 2014, or like late 2014 if I remember right. So it technically didn't launch with the one, but it was a launch title, in effect. Almost like a
you mean Xbox Series X? That's what you mean?
No, the one.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, I hate these stupid names.
Yeah, they're terrible. They're bad. The Xbox from 2013.
Let's just go by years at this point.
Yeah, just because it's easier.
2013, 2005. Like,
In the long run, outsold it. No, in the long run, on the one it would have outsold. No. I don't know where, like, you got that. If you have, like, sources on that.
Sir, would you please link us your sources, because we'd like to actually look at this?
Yeah. No, like, if you have sources on that, I would be down to see them. But like the one had been out for a year at that point. No, it definitely got sold more on the one.
Oh wait, and then 2 came out in 2014.
Yeah, 2 was in 2014.
Damn, that's a big release gap. Damn.
Yeah, well they did it on every 2 years. So like Horizon 1 was 2012, so Horizon 2 is 2014.
Did they do like Horizon Motor Quest? Was that was like big on the 360, I believe, right?
What?
The freaking one that was trying to be more like Gran Turismo compared to more arcadey
Motorsport?
Horizons. Yeah, Motorsport. That's the one I'm thinking.
That was the one they actually started with Motorsport. Motorsport was the start of the series.
Right.
Those actually went back to the original Xbox, and they started in 2005. Yeah. Actually, on the ranking itself, when it comes to the Huracan, I'd say... Let's see this. VG chart sales... Horizon 2 sales...
It's black screen. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so this is first week sales. The majority of the sales were on the Xbox One, where it sold 265,000 units. The game sold 100,000 units on the 360. So in first week sales, it was already being outsold on the One.
Okay, thank you for actually giving us some nice data to look at.
Yeah. Rainik being based in the chat. Right, so yeah, it was always better selling on the One.
First week sales normally always dictate the legacy of the game, normally.
Right.
Even nowadays.
And final sales, it outsold it 2-1. So, like, FH2 is a Xbox One game. It was built for the One.
The weirdest thing is, like, Gran Turismo 4 being, like, it didn't sell good in the first week, yet sold amazing later on, you know? Yeah, like word of mouth at least, I think. I think that's what you said in your video, right?
Wait, what did you say?
With Gran Turismo and how it didn't sell great in the early weeks or something.
No, it sold pretty well very early on. Like, it was like, GT 1 or 2 is the best-selling PS1 game.
Okay.
Yeah, GT 1 and 2 are the first and third best-selling games on the PS1. I'd argue the 360 launch was far worse. Oh, the 360 launch sold well, but was fucking terrible.
Oh yeah, that's only because Red Ring.
Yeah, Red Ring killed so many systems.
In reality, without the Red Ring, it would have dominated that next to the Wii.
Yeah, no, like, if there was no Red Ring, Xbox would have probably, not tied, but, like, maybe been within 10% of the Wii. Like...
And according to the documentary of Xbox, they were ignoring QA testing when they were trying to, like, make the 360. And that's why the Red Ring happened, because they were trying to rush it to market.
Because wasn't it the first 7th gen console, even before the Wii?
Yes, when they got confirmation of when the PS3 was coming out, they're like, 1 year earlier, let's do it.
Yeah, and all their engineers were like, fuck.
And Bungie was like, wait, what? wait, what?
Yeah, the Red Ring of Death,
like, deep in development of Halo 3, we're like, wait, we're getting console development now.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, the 360 had the chance to outdo the
PS2. Out so late,
yeah,
2007 and not 2006.
Right, because you know what? Even though the One tried to do this and failed, the 360 realistically could have been the streaming box to the PS2's DVD player in that kind of.
We talked about this yesterday.
Right, but like the 360 could have just done that, like, because there was already streaming. They
did. Here's the thing: it did. It had Netflix. It had Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I've used it before.
And you can still run modern Netflix on a 360.
Yeah, I've done it. Like, not recently, but like a couple years ago, I did it.
It doesn't run that great compared to like a modern Xbox, but you can still do it.
Right. It's like I think you can still watch YouTube on a Wii.
No, you can't. That got shut down.
You can't.
Everything on the Wii is shut down.
Damn. PS3 also partially sold well because it was the cheapest way to get a Blu-ray drive. Yeah. I mean, it didn't sell nearly as well as the PS2 or the 4, if I remember correctly, but
Well,
it's
yeah,
still
because it's like, why would I get a Blu-ray when there's DVDs still being made? Like,
right. Like, to be fair, Blu-ray wasn't as mainstream by then. It's not like
it is now because it's
Right.
the only way you can get most of the thing.
Right. That generation of consoles when and 360 had Red Ring and PS3 had Yellow Light of Death. And the PS3 was also expensive for the
No,
time.
but here's the Yellow Light of Death. That was like the most uncommon thing happening with PS3. The PS3, the only thing that was holding it back was the price. Pretty much.
Right. Like the
That and also lack of games.
Yeah, especially early on, because I think most of the game...
Lack of third party because of their weird chipset.
Yeah, the PS2 and PS3, I don't exactly know why, but like the PS3 was never able to do what the PS2 did, even though I've heard people say the PS2 was maybe not just as hard, but a similar level of hard to develop for as the 3 was.
Well, here's the major difference. The hardware sales compared to, it's like,
Right.
yeah,
The 2 was...
develop for this, then
The 2 was already selling because of it being a DVD player and that kind of stuff, and already having
so
like a lot
developers
of...
were just like, well, fuck it, I guess we're gonna be having to learn how the system works.
Right, in the 3 was only going to be able to get those kind of sales if developers were making games for it, and all the developers took one look at it and went, no.
The only ones that understood were Naughty Dog and Santa Monica Studios.
At least in the beginning,
time.
because a lot of the games that I hear people talk really highly of on the PS3 are almost always from like 2008 or 9 and newer. Like the first...
2007, no, 2007 was Uncharted 1.
Okay, Uncharted, I'll give it Uncharted, but like...
That's
for
like 1 year after the system launched.
Yeah, the
That's
first
like-
year or two of the game was almost nothing. Or the system, rather.
But I will say Kojima just tried to push more than he thought he could do with that system, like into MGS3.
Right.
MGS4. MGS4, if you ever played on original hardware, the first opening minutes will run at 15 FPS.
Right. Also,
Anyway, what were we talking about?
yeah, with like the tier list. Yeah, with like the tier list, to an extent, I want to put the Huracan somewhere fairly high, but also, I almost want to put it in the overrated tier, because,
Yeah,
like,
overrated.
it is a bit overrated in a lot of ways. Hey, Roy.
I don't think it's aged that well.
I think it has. I just think it's like... It's one of those default cars that like people like immediately think of, but it doesn't have like... If I compare it directly like the 458, to me it doesn't feel like it does the things the 458 does right. Almost. Like... Also the Huracan feels very much of its time in terms of like styling and design, and to an extent that's
Yeah,
also the case.
2014 was a weird thing for cars because not much was going on, and to this day, there's still not much difference from like 2014 compared to now.
Right.
In terms of cars.
Right. Well, the Huracan is just Control-C, Control-V. Right. I mean, all their cover cars are basically supercars that came out in that year. Right. That is the case for,
But,
like, all
though,
their cover
I will say
cars.
this, I can't wait for the new Gran Turismo to have the fucking PS5 controller on the racetrack.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, who joined? Oh, it's British. There we go. British, are you here for the funny
Live.
stream?
Oh, we're live.
Hold on, let me turn you up. You're down on volume. What were you gonna say?
I said I just finished my Twitch stream to have a look at yours.
Oh, you should have done a funny.
What? Raid?
Yeah.
I don't. I should follow you on Twitch. I don't know why I don't.
Oh. Thank you. Huracan is the silver lining with the STO, though. Yeah.
Why is the bit so low, man?
Because
Look at my one.
it's a...
Add a new tier called Hell or Hatred.
I feel like the image of the video is just self-explanatory.
It is a bit. Yeah. Yeah, it is a bit. exclusive Vits, yeah, that's why it's so low. But right now, I'm trying to debate on where exactly I want to put the Huracan, and
It's a cool car, but it's like it's not even the most iconic car in Horizon 2, to be honest.
yeah,
It's like it's a cover car, but it's not the most iconic car in the game.
I can't think of a more iconic car for FH2 specifically, but like, I don't think it. I don't think of like just this car a lot of the time.
I think that says more about FH2
Like,
because it's such a
FH2?
bland game in compared to the whole series.
Yeah, FH2 personally, I think of the Veneno, but that's just me.
I could see that.
The
I could see that.
speed glitch car.
Yeah, because that's one of the fastest cars in the game as well. I'd say this is probably going to be,
Yeah,
probably in the overrated tier.
yeah. The Centenario though.
Yeah, the Centenario.
Story, bro.
I'd say this would definitely go a bit higher. Not super high, but definitely like noticeably higher. At the very least, like a cool car. At the very least.
I know what's missing on your list.
What?
The Suzuki
Escudo?
fucking Escudo, bro. Yeah.
I actually wanted to put a couple more Gran Turismos in, but I was
the wheelie car, bro. You can't miss it.
another Challenger and it wasn't shit car to use. Yeah. I wanted to actually. I was thinking about putting the Escudo and the Tom Super on here as well, but I forgot.
Yeah, but like if you start going down the rabbit hole of Gran Turismo, you get
Right.
Toyota GT1, you get Mercedes patent motor wagon.
Right. I basically I wanted to put one iconic car like in the base game and then one meme car. That's like, just to make it simple. That's what I went with.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. I'd say for the Centenario. Why no undercover from the PSP?
I don't know why Undercover is so hated on. People say it's the worst Need for Speed game. I say
I need
that's
to
a load of hate.
I need to go back and replay it because it's been a minute since I've played it. I need to actually like see how it really stacks up for that time.
I mean, FH3 and DJS, his challenges are never in the gas on.
Yeah. Undercover is so bad it's
A
fun.
little bit of hate. Might cause a little bit of hate. The Blue Crew is so cringy. DJS, DJ Lime,
I
AR.
love getting
Oh
it.
my god.
I love getting a French shot in the middle of the stream. That's so awesome, Twitch. Thank you.
Nice.
I love being
Hell
screamed.
yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, British, I kind of agree, but I also don't keep up with them enough to know.
Literally, the only reason I watch AR12's videos is to see what's in the next update.
Yeah,
I don't even
same.
play the game anymore, so I don't know why I do.
I only watch them every now and then. Like, one of the ones I watched was actually just to get footage for my motorsport video of him cringing at something.
Oh.
Yeah. But now we have Horizon 4. I think the Senna is a very cool car, like with all the stuff that went into it. And I'd say like it's not overdone much in like the games that it was in, so I'd say it probably goes relatively high. Not super high, but like a decent pick, definitely. Did your hit and run forgot to wipe my own saves? Fair. You put FH3 below 4? Yeah. For iconic cars, yeah.
Yeah, not the game.
No.
Yeah, not the
cover
game.
car.
No, if
Cars,
we're rating on games, it's more like, yeah, but
It goes.
right,
That's only because you've got like multiple thousand hours in 4. Also because you played it at launch.
right. Yeah, ranking iconic cars, I'd say the Senna is definitely a more iconic car than the Centenario, even though the Centenario is still really cool.
Actually, imagine if FH4 was made this year, and instead of the Senna, it was the Solus GT. Oh my god, my pants would be filled with it.
Bro got that, bro giving that McLaren
if we were
Golf.
going off of games and shit, I would be strangling fast right now for dissing F-Zero like this. Like, what the
Well, that's also because I don't know anything about F-Zero.
I'm going to make you play GameCube at F-Zero, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I will hate you to play
at
that
this
game.
point, I don't even feel like you need to know anything about it. It's just like thick. It's just like ships go fast, like really fast. To the point where you just lose it.
Yeah.
Bruce's pants would be a mass grave.
Oh, and
Yeah,
from
the
Forza
the
YouTube.
VC chart. That's
Yeah.
that's my favorite car.
Ah.
Totally not because it was originally a Vision GT and it ended up being a real car.
That's fair.
Oh yeah.
No bias.
I think the Senna looks cooler.
Be for real. Be for real.
Yeah.
Don't play with me.
For context, this is the car that British is talking about right now. For context in chat, I think the Senna looks.
It's a
Yeah.
beauty.
I think the Senna looks cooler than this.
Bro, if that was the cover car for any game, my pants would
I
be
mean-
filled.
Technically, it's the cover car for Lego 2K Drive, but it's the Lego version, obviously.
Yup.
Faster, I sent something in VC that's gonna blow your mind.
It looks like a car from Trackmania. That's what makes it so good, though. That's what makes it so good. It's a real car.
Wait, Dizzy. What music though?
Finally, Stadium Car.
The whole
IRL.
soundtrack.
He didn't make all the Eurobeat songs from like fucking well, they got stupid
Well, there was,
names.
Like, one composer from Initial D that worked on like all of F-Zero pretty much.
Right. I'm just like I'm trying to figure like what songs he did for Initial
I think
D.
it was like fast, so that's the guy.
Oh.
Wait.
And then you gotta step on the gas, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Manuel. It's Manuel.
Manuel, yeah.
Yes, Manuel.
Okay, that'd be pretty cool then. If
Watermark.
that's such like a 2016, 2017 type image as well, with how crusty it is. I can just imagine. I can just imagine that being read out. I spot an eye for the watermark.
Oh, yes,
You are now automatically not funny.
Well, let me pull this image on stream as well so they can see it.
You fucking
Yes.
kid.
Pull up both of them.
Oh my god.
Oh shit.
No, you gotta make that an emote. You
Yeah.
gotta make that.
I probably will. Honestly, I probably will. And then British man. Yeah.
Incredible.
Why is it?
Wheel to zoom in, yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
shut the fuck up.
Why? Let me just pull up an image. Why? Fucking browser pieces.
It's your browser. Why don't you just use this? This video
There we
is
go.
sponsored by him.
This
This video is sponsored
Robert
by
We're really
Magnus.
coming to-
5-speed Manuel. Alright. And then we have the FH5 Mercedes Project 1 or GT1.
Yeah, I like how they.
cool car.
It's,
Yeah,
I like
cool
how it's the
car.
cover car. They still didn't make it sound right.
Right.
Sounds like a
It
tin
sounds like
can
a
being
lawnmower.
rattled.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It sounds like a fucking
I
lawnmower.
like the engineering that's behind this car, and it looks. I think it looks alright, but like.
The sound in the game ruins it though.
Oh no, the sound is awful, but. Yeah.
Like how normally the cover car is one of the best sounding cars in the game. How do they fuck it up? Like just
Hey,
make it
didn't they
sound
also
like a
put,
long car.
like-
It's not
No,
hard.
I'm just correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they put this car at the E3 IMA showcase as well?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Eh?
they also made a
no.
Forza Edition version of the car and they never released it.
Like they had a copy
Excuse me,
of
but
the
how the
car
fuck
and
is
to
it
use for
discovered from a
recording,
true?
yet they still made it sound like shit. How did you manage to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did fuck up everything on FH5 to be.
Yeah. Next, we actually have this car. Let me pull up an image of this car because I'm not sure how many of you actually watched my last video.
I did.
I definitely did. I also played the Burning Rubber Girls myself. I have experience.
Burning rubber.
Yeah, this is the car. Yeah, so those of you that did watch the last video will be familiar with this car. This is
Phaser GTI. Phaser GTI.
yeah. This goes under two names: the Phaser GTI and
This
also
is
the
basically a Mario Kart car. I'm sorry.
yeah, the Vulcan M6 because it is based on an actual M6. If I remember correctly, I think it's the like 2006 M6.
It's a little weird because I always feel like Burn Rubber games in general always like alternate between their cover cars. Like I think I think in BR3 it was the Panther V8 if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Why does it look like it's straight out of Forza Motorsport 2024?
Fair. But like this is the car that it's based around, is this one right here.
Yes. The first car I think of when I go fast.
When what?
I can't believe this is what the car from Burn Rubber into a real one. Dude, that's crazy.
On the right, it's happy because it's in chocolate. On the left, it's happy because it's just in crap.
Yeah.
No, one's got it strapped on him. The other's just like, yo, I'm just normal citizen.
He's got the strap on. He got the blicky.
He got the strap
that
on.
thing on, dude.
Yeah.
He is strapped. Literally, he's got
Yeah.
grenade launchers.
Yeah, that's the grenade
He's
launchers.
strapped and he's ready to make it go up your bumhole.
I just want to say, like, look
Is it-
at the car in the background, though. That man is not having a good time at all.
Nah, he just chilling. He just vibing like that.
Yeah,
He's about to
I think
explode,
he's in
yeah.
the middle of something. Let's just leave him be, you know?
Yeah, he just it's just
Slightly exploded.
yeah.
I am the main character, KW.
Yep. But yeah, I
I
reckon
am the
is the main
protagonist of
character.
this story.
I reckon for these games, I'd say it probably. I know it's not like an iconic series, but in the games, it's in literally all of them.
Okay, fast. I'm just gonna say this as a quick joke, real quick.
What?
That is the spot the main character car.
Yeah, a bin.
Yeah,
Oh,
just-
it's always
if it
weird
was-
because, like, they always just, switch around between cars, so I'm like, which one is it supposed to be, like, the true protagonist? That's a really good question.
Yeah, it's literally, if it was fucking an anime character, it'd have a massive pink mohawk.
Yeah.
The bigger question is, how is there tire streaks in the sand? Don't question
Don't
it.
worry
Because I
about
said
it.
so. Because it's the main character, bro.
These
It has
are,
main
these
character
must be
energy.
some, like, really good tires.
Actually, no. It's like it's not sand. It's like sandy concrete. You can see the cracks up here, so it's like concrete with like a light covering of sand on it.
Yeah,
Also,
there's just
those
a bit of a
tires
dust
must
storm.
be. If they made those tires that black, those must be some fast tires. Like, goddamn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
X-Form
Oh yeah,
with
I think I know.
X-Form with the really advanced technology.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I know why the
Ah,
road's covered in
the
dust.
most
Someone
advanced
with dandruff
technology,
just
my
shook their head.
browser.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I
So
think
we talked over each other. Like, what were you trying to say?
Must be the Goodyear Limited Special Edition.
yeah. I'd
At
say
least it isn't Michelin tires. The
Oh, yeah.
Toyota one will never recover from the 1999 Le Mans 24 Hours.
yeah.
Michelin, I hate you.
Hey, do you want to do a
Oh,
race
hey,
to the
do you want
future?
to race on F4 when I'm back in 20 minutes? Oh yeah, sure. 20
Oh,
minutes. not back there. 4
we
minutes,
see,
not
whenever
back
I s-
later, not back.
He's
We-
just extremely busy.
We see. Whenever I said that, I was making dinner, and then I fucked up dinner, so I had to go make more dinner. That's what happened
Fast, You're a
there.
fucking moron.
What happened, and I just like left you alone to rot.
My dumbass legit boiled milk, and then I fucked the rest of it up.
How did you fuck up the milk?
Do not let bro cook. Do not let bro cook.
I was making hamburger helper, and I forgot to mix the stuff in before actually like bringing it
If I
to
ever
boil.
hang out with you, Fast, I hope you never make the dinner.
You make me worried for Arjun.
You're on this planet, for real.
Yeah, that's how it be.
How did he fuck up the milk?
Yeah. To be fair, the main thing I blame on that was that it was like it was so hot in my house for 5 hours, and I could
No.
barely think right.
This motherfucker's the type of person to make tea, put a fucking tea bag in the kettle. Nah.
No, okay,
I bet-
Fast, I'm just gonna say this as well. You do not have any privileges to grill from now on. You are no longer allowed to grill.
Your inner YouTuber is coming out.
Your
not
grill
knowing
license
Yeah.
is hereby revoked.
Nah, that's not inner YouTuber. That's inner wants to be a TikToker. Nah.
Nah. I ain't even made no shorts yet, although I have been told it might be a good idea.
No,
It would be a good
no,
idea.
trust.
If you-
Wait,
It's
what?
wow.
Wait, what's this? Have you seen the clip of the dude using the grill to warm up monster?
Oh
What?
no. Oh.
Oh no.
If you seen the clip of the guy that, do you know how you can split alcoholic drinks because one's denser than the other? It's in a video of a guy splitting Monster and Guinness. It looks
I've seen.
awful.
I haven't seen the video, but I've seen people clip. I've seen people take a screenshot of that and say, "You haven't touched your Gonster yet."
Yeah, you tried your Monster. Please nitro.
Gonster.
Yeah, please
And-
nitro flavor.
You wanna know what it looks like
I know
to?
how to make it as well.
You wanna know what it looks like as well?
Babe, is something wrong? You haven't touched your gunster.
Because it.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
Because the thing is,
You pour half the glass of Monster, get a spoon, and pour the Guinness onto the spoon because it makes it settle.
Dude, something is wrong with you, man.
Oh, no.
Dear God.
that's
no.
also the funny bit. Like you look at, because they have a screenshot of like the cup of it, and it's just like. It's like fluorescent green in the bottom, and then just like Coke black on top. And it genuinely, what it looks like is it looks like it would be in like the background of like the original Xbox startup screen.
Dude, what the heck?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Tell me the bottom of that doesn't look like it would come straight out of like the original Xbox startup screen.
No, it's Fallout 1. It's FEV. It's FEV. It's what created the master.
You drink that, you just become a super mutant.
No, it's the
don't
FPG
show the
virus
shot
from
on
Fallout
screen.
1.
Sweetie, are you
Oh
okay?
my
You barely
God.
touched your Sonic Limited Edition. Curry is the best one
I
so
don't,
far.
I don't even have a joke to think of. I'm just looking at it with like, why would you do
Nuka-Cola
this?
flavor?
Yeah.
Brother
New
drunk that
Nuka-Cola flavor. Oh.
Let me pull this up on
Oh,
stream so
no.
stream can see this as well.
If you
Please, yes,
drink
show
that-
this.
If you drink that, you turn into the master from Fallout 1.
Yeah.
Yes, you would.
Sweetie, are you okay? You barely touched your Sonic Limited Edition. Curry is the best one by far.
Yeah.
Oh my word! It was for nothing.
You barely touched.
Oh, this.
Edition curry.
Oh,
Oh,
that is not okay.
Oh, we're not talking about Sonic Limited Edition curry. I can bring that.
Wait,
right
that's
now.
a
Oh.
real thing? Okay,
Yes,
pull that
Sonic.
up.
Put it in
Who the
general and then
fuck?
it's good. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, Ardo, if you want to
Oh,
see
no.
it, it's in stream VC text chat. You can click and find it through like the VC chat. But yeah,
It's so
it's. Oh.
Oh, thank you.
Oh.
What the fuck?
Oh no, he pulled up the worst one. Look at this.
Oh no!
This is.
Oh.
Oh. Oh no, look in general. Wait, what did
This
you
is
post in
Sonic
general?
Limited Edition curry, bro.
This is certainly correct.
Oh yeah, you
That's a
posted
war
you posted the
crime.
curry.
That
Yeah.
is a war crime.
It literally is. It's almost.
What the f
What, have you eaten
is that
it?
supposed to be?
No, I haven't eaten it before, but that looks abysmal.
I don't-
All the blue dye.
I
Just
don't
all
think
of it.
this
Oh.
is even edible.
It's not. It's like blue
That's
colored
just all the
nuclear
blue
waste.
food dye coloring just in there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Said, oh, you want some fuck? What's the
Back
Oh.
to
It's gotta be
cars.
blue.
Yeah, that it probably would be good to
Perhaps
like.
because of Sonic, I don't know.
Oh.
yeah?
Well, like,
Yeah.
come
Just for
on.
the memes, no, just for the memes, put burning rubber at the very top at S tier.
I don't think I'm gonna. I'll put it probably
You want some blue too?
probably here, just because it's an interesting little thing.
Damn, Papa Smurf.
No, look at what Rennick said in chat.
The Smurf shouldn't have cooked, dude.
Papa Smurf is like best friends with Sonic.
Oh no.
Literally,
All right.
Kelly deals for curry. What the heck?
All right. So the last one on the list, the last thing we have on here is the Evo 10 from Midnight Club. Trying to get it back on track. Oh no.
I'm fucking it.
Why did Sonic nut? Why the fuck did Sonic nut?
Mega. Wait, wait, wait,
Why would you
wait, wait.
do this?
British Dizzy, do any of y'all watch Vine Sauce?
Yes.
Mega nut, dude. Oh.
You'd be throwing it up faster than you complete the first Sonic level.
Oh no.
I was
You
just
got
gonna say though.
spicy ass chat. Holy shit.
Oh no.
I did not expect to laugh this hard. I'm ascending to heaven.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
Thank you, chat.
Okay. Let's try to get back
Thank
on track so you can finish this bullshit.
God damn it!
Okay. The
I'm
Evo
sorry,
10
That was good.
from Midnight Club
You
LA.
got me.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Put that in Y. Put that
To be
in
honest,
Y
my
tier.
honest.
What do you mean?
My honest reaction.
I'm sorry, but I am
Your
biased, and that is
reaction
my
is
least favorite
creation.
car of all time. And
Why? It's good.
Midnight
Don't.
Club
It's
is-
just an unrational,
yeah.
just hatred for it.
No, stream
Midnight Club
derailed by
is
Gonser
a
and
game
Sonic Curry. What do you mean? What? Yeah. Yeah, I'm still wondering, like,
Derailed by me.
bro, what do you mean? Why? Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. Like, no. I think I'd say the Evo 5 at least is going where like the Midnight Club, no, where the Pro Street one is, because like I don't see any reason for it not to be around here.
I got no reason to explain it. I just fucking hate that car.
Okay.
I don't know.
Huh?
Ignore me. I'm stupid.
Okay. I also like how I also like how out of all the games it didn't crop right.
Don't mind me. I just have unexplainable hatred.
Yeah, I just be built like that. I'd just
can't
be a
explain
hater.
it, okay. That's mostly from my recent playthrough of just hating how this car played. I just fucking hate
Oh.
So tell us a bit about yourself. Ignore me. I'm stupid.
Your stream chat really got me feeling like this car, bro.
Like, so tell me about yourself, and he just pulls out a sign that says, "Ignore me, I'm stupid."
Yeah. It's written in the modern Mrs. Bro for real. Yeah.
He just has comically large pockets. He just pulls out an entire dunce cap.
Yeah.
He's just built different. Oh, shut the fuck up, chat.
Here we go.
Oh, okay. I'd say at least like here. I'm not sure if it's like on this kind of level, but I'd say it's at least probably about here in terms of iconic cars. I wanted to put more Midnight Club cars on the list, but I couldn't think of like properly iconic single cars from Midnight Club.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
There's
like
not many cars in Midnight Club, I believe, right?
no, Midnight Club has a lot of cars. I just can't think of any of them that are like singularly iconic from being in Midnight Club. Maybe the S803 Celine is up there as well, the other Midnight Club cover car. I wanted to put something from Midnight Club 3, but I couldn't find any because there's 4 cover cars for that game.
I can try.
Minor, I gotta ask though,
Yeah,
you sure the FH5 were above the grid one? Yes.
There's a dub edition. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
I
was
still-
something. Yep.
I still think the Vits needs to go lower.
They're like
It's-
dub edition remakes
needs-
and stuff like
It
that.
needs its own
Yeah.
tier. It needs its own
The
tier.
most
It's
consistent box art I'm getting is this.
British, it has its own tier. It's by itself.
Nah, it needs to have its a Vits tier.
S tier them. Shut the fuck. Hey, we can't decide.
Oh no. No, there's there's Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition and then Dub Edition Remix, which means there are a total of 4 cover cars for that game.
What the fuck?
Dub Edition Remix is effectively the version of the game. Like, there's no real reason to play base Dub Edition after Remix came out.
Okay, fair. So why don't
No, I
we?
was gonna say
So which cover card are we using? The final version, dub edition, remake?
I didn't really put one on the list because I couldn't figure out one specific car to put on.
Just put
Yeah,
dub
let's
edition
do it.
remakes, because like since this is like the most definitive version.
If Remix was gonna go on, probably somewhere in like Great Picks, because like I don't really think of those cars when I think of Midnight Club. I more think of other things about the game first.
Yeah, I don't like this cover art. I will say that.
I think the car on the left, I think it's like an Eldorado or something, looks kind of cool, but still it's...
Screams 2000s. It
Right.
screams 2000s.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right. This is, like, all four of those are the... Well, to be fair, that's kind of the aesthetic of the game. All four of those cars are the exact kind of thing you'd see in, like, a 2005 Dirty South music video.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because that's the aesthetic of that game. That's just what it's like. Like, literally for my Midnight Club video, I was watching Dirty South music videos and, like, crunk music videos and that kind of stuff, and...
Man was doing research.
Yeah, and that's just all the cars that were in it. Like, it was Camaros and Corvettes and Mercs with big rims and old school cars and SUVs and 300Cs.
I think, what was it, San Andreas had a very similar aesthetic as well.
Right, yeah. Because it was... Although, no, actually, San Andreas is more based on the 90s aesthetic than 2000s.
True.
Yeah.
What's it called as well? Fucking... Yeah, if it wasn't just cover cars, I think the X2010 should definitely be on that list.
Right. Well, it's not just cover cars either. Like, there's a good handful of these that aren't cover cars.
I guess, but yeah. 'Cause it's definitely an iconic car. Like, you think of Gran Turismo, you think of the X2010.
Not really for me. Also because, like, I haven't actually gotten to the X2010 missions whenever I've played through the games.
Oh yeah, they're definitely the most difficult thing I've ever fucking done on a controller.
Right.
The second you do it on a wheel, though, it's fucking piss easy.
Right. I'm trying to think of any that I'd really move around for, like, the final list. Do y'all think...
I mean, put that Y car in S tier.
The friggin' Mars Rover.
Yes.
Yeah, the Mars Rover. Do y'all think, since I'm unfamiliar with the series, do you think these are fair for Ridge Racer and F-Zero?
Yeah.
It's fair because
I put
this specific image of the Mr. Agenda from Ridge Racer is like
it looks like
actually got me because I don't think that's actually from Ridge Racer, and I should know because it's from Driftspurts and I play this game on like free accounts.
Oh yeah. I mean, I almost thought about using like the Ridge Racer Type 4 cover for that image, but yeah.
Yeah, the RC410 wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, Ridge Racer's lucky to be on this. It's not even a car. Yeah, like. Yeah. I'd only put that car on there because it's what I made a community post recently that was like, what are some iconic racing game cars? And that's where a number of these came from, and that's where that one specifically came from as well.
I'm surprised F-Zero is on the list concerning your community.
Right, a couple people suggested it.
More F-Zero than Ridge Racer, honestly, because F-Zero is more like, you know...
It's like one of the very first racing games. Like
right. At least like very first like big console racing games, especially. Yeah, like I think the only ones before that.
What's even funnier about F-Zero? It predates Mario Kart.
Yeah. Yeah. Cat Jam Turbo. Yeah, we got them MC2 beats going on right now. But yeah, I think this is more or less going to be like my final ranking for like iconic cars throughout all these games. Although there were definitely a bunch that I missed. This is like the general ranking of the ones I could find over the past little while and also like thought to add myself. So...
Oh no! I somehow find even more cursor image of Sonic Kirby holding general chat. Do I dare look?
Oh no. Even more cursed.
Oh, do I dare? Do we dare?
Yes, show it.
What is this?
What?
That's how it's supposed to look.
Oh wait, hold up. There. Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to look, yeah.
Why even? Is that beans? What is that?
It says beans.
Sonic got beans!
Look at the beans!
Sonic got the
beans!
Sonic got the goddamn beans!
I got them beans! What the fuck?
He got the beans! And of course,
I thought those. I'm gonna be honest, I thought those eyes were raisins for a second.
Those are raisins.
No, it's like a sauce. If you look at his mouth and his nose, it's the same stuff, but it's like a. I don't even know.
It looks so cursed.
It is.
What is with the ear though? Like, what's his?
I have no idea.
Potatoes or something?
And he just looks so disappointed as well. He just looks like he doesn't want to be there at all.
He's not smiling. He's just got
yeah. It's like plum pudding pieces. Okay, I've never had curry before, so I wouldn't know.
Neither have I.
Or like Britishized curry, which is what I'm assuming this is.
That's not a proper curry. That's like a Japanese curry.
Oh yeah, I thought it was.
Makes sense because it's from Japan.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
those
but, like,
beans.
curry's from India.
Well, the beans made me think it was the beans and terrible curry made me think it was British, but
oh my
No, they're
fucking
not. They're
god.
not. They're not the same beans.
Do not show this on stream because
You can
you'll
tell
get-
no, I know that gift very well.
You know, from the sticky stuff between the beans, it's Japanese because it apparently smells really badly as well.
Ah,
Those beans.
Oh, is it
yeah,
Is it?
fermented beans?
but fermented
I was
beans.
thinking- I was
Oh
thinking of
no,
something, but, like, I'm not sure how it's called. Natto.
natto. Oh okay. Yeah, I probably will stay in the stream VC, or I might move over to general VC afterwards. But I think this is probably where I'm gonna more or less end the stream.
Yeah.
Right.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, because
Goodbye, chat.
Me when I drink Gongster.
becomes the
Sorry,
master.
but I'm gonna save that on my
I turn
PC.
into the master.
Oh yeah. I'll probably be in stream VC. I might actually do something in stream or in VC after this, but this is probably what I'm gonna go ahead and end it. So,
Right.
but it was
You guys. Bye,
Yeah.
chat.
bye chat.
Wait, Mario Curry? Look.
No. We got
Oh no.